Oh, mine didn't go off. I remember.
Yeah.
And I'm starting to remember turning my volume down too, because sometimes I'll scroll through my Facebook to watch us and be like, oh, the volume's up, so I got to turn my volume down too. But I see we are live now because we are so professional on the way we introduce this show. Welcome, everyone, to Count the Bucket for our next episode in our short series that we're trying to kick this off with as we get into it. What are we, Nick? What do we say? 3 weeks away before the regular season?
I think so, yeah, 3 weeks away.
Okay, so we've started, we're doing each division as we get up to the actual season. Of course, preseason starts in like maybe 2 weeks. We went from the East Coast, Atlantic, Southeastern, Atlantic, and now we will be covering the Central Division on this episode. But before we get into it, we've got a lot of stuff going on. Me and Nick talked a little bit of fantasy football while we waited on CJ to get on here with us. Of course, Nick, who is his first year doing fantasy football. He says he's almost 2-1.
I'm on my way to 2-1, and guess what? I haven't changed my lineup once,
and it makes me
because I keep forgetting.
I don't know how you forget. Like, I am constant every day. I look at my lineup, be like, "Oh, he's hurt. Okay, is he playing?" Like, I've had Dobbins for since I drafted him in a dynasty league, and today was his first day playing. Like, I've had you on my bench for so long. I'm putting you in the lineup. I don't even care.
For sure.
How about you, CJ? How you been doing this week?
Yeah, I've been great. All is well, man. Again, like I said, my birthday was on Tuesday, so I had a good time.
Happy birthday, by the way.
Happy belated birthday.
Thank you guys for the support, showing me love. Count the Bucket fan, hitting me up on Twitter, man. That meant a lot. I appreciate you guys.
Can we see that birthday present you got?
Yeah, so came right on time, my guy.
Boom.
My guy, Michael Lawson, man, hooked me up with the CTB limited edition cup.
Yeah, Mike.
This is premium right here. If you want to get this, you got to be a part of the CTN fan. First off, make sure you like and subscribe for the YouTube. That's what we need you to do. First,
and on Apple
support. Give us the rating on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and then we can see what's up. We could definitely hook you up with one of these limited edition factor right here, man. Appreciate you, bro.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what, Nick? We might need to talk about this Patreon you were talking about. Maybe this would be something. When you join our Patreon a certain amount, we might just get you a cup of some sort to join.
Yes, sir.
Definitely, 100%. Hey, that's what we need to do. We need to get a CTB Patreon, bro. Exclusive content for the fans.
All right, see you through.
Oh yeah, but yeah. See, CJ was luckily able to get his early birthday gift with the Count the Bucket Cup. I might have to wait till Christmas at this point to get mine.
Well, I want to say I remember you saying something last week, and I cannot remember what it was. When I was like, I made the comment. Well, you know what, CJ, I might just send Nick's to yours instead and wait on Nick's. What did he say? What was it? But I cannot remember because I remember we laughed about it. So it's kind of comical that yours came before Nick got his, but you know what? We don't even know if Nick's is in the mail yet. Well, I have to clean my truck out.
We don't even know where it's at. Somebody about to get a free Count the Bucket Cup. It's out there somewhere.
Yeah, that's what I was just. Yeah, that's crazy. That's a fact.
Oh goodness! But you know what? As it's scrolling across there, it makes me want to go ahead and do this. Of course, as you guys can see on the ticker down there, go follow us on Twitter, which CJ already said. Count the Bucket USN. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. We got we're streaming right now on Count the Bucket, also Unwrapped Sports Network, who we're very thankful for the network. Of course, we have a Facebook page as well, Count the Bucket on there. Of course, all of our podcasts for you guys that are listening, not seeing our beautiful faces whenever we do post this live, which I need to get better at that, and I do apologize. That's going to be Apple Heart Radio, all those Spotify, everything on there. We are pretty much blasting all social medias except for Instagram. We need to get on there, but you know what? I'm not very photogenic other than my beard, so I'm hesitant on that. But I was trying to – there it goes. As you can see right now, thejavaseeds.com. Get 20% off with a promo code BUCKET. And what that is these tasteful Java seeds with 2 cups of coffee per bag that can keep you awake if you're in college for sure, help you study for those finals that will be coming up soon. Or if you're like me, got to wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning after listening to us live here to work a freight truck that's coming with over 160 pumpkins for the holiday. Hip, hip, hooray for that. So I will definitely be eating on some of these in the morning to keep myself awake, ready to go, and ready to talk basketball right now at least. So, bam. I think we got everything done right there. Of course, we'll try to promo some more a little bit later as we get on into here. But what news do y'all want to start with first? Like, I want to get into the divisions, but there is definitely some more headlines that kind of happened that.
So one of y'all need to check the group chat because I just text something to you. I don't know if y'all saw it yet.
Yeah, it was perfect. It was perfect timing.
Yeah.
So automatic green light to jump right into that situation.
Absolutely.
Let's go ahead.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, even though we're talking about the division, of course, breaking news happening, 3 or 4 days ago?
Yeah. It hit Wednesday night, actually.
Okay. Wednesday night with Boston Celtics. I'm sure you guys have heard about it. If you watched any kind of sports media or even social media, you have seen something that's going on. Nick, I know you kind of want to talk about it a little bit more. Do you want to open it up? I'll give you the floor to kind of go with that.
Yeah, so basically just to elaborate to keep things short, the Boston Celtics suspended their rookie. Well, he would have been a second-year head coach, but they suspended their head coach, Ime Udoka. It looks like Ime, how can I say this? Ime was having relations with one of the staff members for the Celtics. And apparently, this was something that had been going on, I guess, throughout the season, through the playoffs. And the Celtics front office, I guess, found out about it around July-ish. So when the news initially came out, and this is why journalism is just super important, because I still don't feel like we even have all the facts, because the first night or the first day that it was reported, it sounded like it was a consensual relationship. So I was on Twitter practically saying, if it was consensual on both parties, I'm not saying that we should not hold Ime Udoka accountable, but I was disagreeing with the whole, with the entire season suspension. I was like, maybe 30 games is enough, but it was both parties. But then Friday comes around. Now it's a lot worse that it wasn't consensual. So now we're like, okay, where is this going? So
now, when you say consensual, now you're talking about the two parties in action.
Yeah, yes, two parties. So
they were consensual. You're talking about Boston didn't consent, right?
No, so basically I'm talking about two parties between Udoka and the other female that he was involved with. Apparently they were saying that both of those sides were consensual the first day, but then reports came out a day later.
Okay, I haven't heard that part. Okay.
Thursday was both parties with Udoka and the female were consensual. Mm-hmm. Then that later on that Friday, I can't remember if it was TMZ reported it or whatever, but TMZ practically reported that Udoka made unwarranted remarks and so on and so on. So it made it sound like it wasn't consensual from the woman's point of view. So now it looks bad. And even former NBA player Matt Barnes had posted a video on Instagram. I guess somebody gave him all the details of the situation, and apparently, according to him, it sounds pretty bad. So I think even now that we're in Sunday night, I still don't think we even have a lot of the details. In my opinion, I feel like there's going to be more to come with this situation possibly soon. But as we stand as of right now, the Celtics, the headline is right there. The Celtics have suspended Ime Udoka for the entire 2022-23 NBA season. And who knows what's going to happen after that, honestly. I mean, it's a bad look for Udoka, honestly, just because, he was a rookie coach and he did such a phenomenal job with that team, especially after January, turning that team around, getting into the finals. So this is a really bad look, in my opinion, for him. He did have a good year, but he's not, in that same stratosphere as like a Greg Popovich or, whoever. So, for a rookie head coach, you can't really do things like this. You know what I'm saying? Like your focus should really be on really getting the team together and really just prioritizing really helping his team become champions. Mm-hmm. So I really don't know what's next for him. In my opinion, like with how bad the situation is looking, he's probably more likely. This is just my opinion. Like with how bad the situation is looking, he's probably going to end up being fired instead. I know that he's suspended right now, but I wouldn't be surprised within the next week or so they may announce that he's fired if we do get more details. But it's a bad look for Udoka, and we'll just have to see where it goes from here.
See, the reason why I was wanting to pass the ball to you on that, Nick, because it'd been a while since I'd actually seen or heard anything on it since the news broke on Wednesday or Thursday, whenever it was. And I thought, well, what I was hearing was there were two different women or two different cases that was going on at the time. And one of it was that it was the vice president's wife, that one of the, I'm going to call it a fling, that was occurring. And that's why the 1 year suspension was going on. So I was like, okay, so yeah, this is like almost relationship-like. So after I heard that, I kind of wasn't really listening to too much of the news. So I'm kind of glad I didn't say what I just said, even though I said it online. But anyways, and hearing what's more coming out. So yeah, I don't know if it will hear for a while the truth. And that's what kills me about media. As soon as they get the first hint of the news, they kind of fill in the blanks and say what they think is correct. But I mean, I hate it for the guy, but he put it in himself in whatever situation he did. So, I mean, you did it to yourself. I mean, what I hate the most is his wife. Like, I mean, she's beautiful and doesn't deserve this at all, what's going on. And it's almost making it, I think, carry on more in the headlines because, one, we have a sports person and now we have a celebrity as well. So it's getting both sides of medias that are trying to get involved with this and entangled in what's going on and being shared. CJ, have you heard anything different? Heard or want to collaborate some more on this?
Man, all I can really do is just shake my head at Ime Udoka. Listen, nobody's perfect. We all make mistakes, no doubt about it. It's just unfortunate. Obviously, his career is publicized, and it's in a place where it's sports and entertainment, like what Michael just talked about. Mm-hmm. So everything, the spotlight's on everything, and he made a terrible decision. And honestly, it looks bad. One, because I mean, listen, man, he is an African-American head coach, and they're gonna look at stuff like that when it's time to get those jobs. It's unjust. You're supposed to judge everybody separately based off regardless of what they look like, their character. That's how you're supposed to judge somebody. But in these certain situations, it does occur. And they're gonna, and it's sad, they should not do this, but they are gonna look at this situation and be like, yo, you know, can we trust? So okay, so that's one situation. And secondly, you just went to the finals. You had a 2-1 lead on one of the greatest teams in this generation in the finals. You lose 3 in a row, yes, because of turnovers. They forced everybody to the left. Okay, we got it from a scheme standpoint. But damn, bro. Damn. Like, you know, you still one of the best young head coaches in the NBA. But and lastly, it's the Celtics. If it was the Kings, it'd be a big, no disrespect to the Kings, but like, it's the Celtics, a storied franchise, one of the most popular franchises in sports. So it's going to get talked about. Man. And it's bad leadership. You got 2 young forwards that look to you for motivation when it's time, money time, situationally, in high pressure situation. You could always forgive for sure. And of course that's going to happen. That's a conversation he's going to have with his team, because he's not available for them, just like he would expect availability from his players every single night. So that's a conversation that he's going to have with every single one of those guys in that locker room that put that pain in to try to do what they try to get to do, and they were unsuccessful in doing last year, which is win the championship. So that's another thing that he's going to have to do, is have a conversation with his guys and gain their trust back. So if he does come back, they're going to want to play for him and understand that they're in it for their long run. That's the key situation. Like I said, it's sad, and we'll see when more information gets out. And then last thing for me is, all these people came out and they want to compare this and that, and this is what this person did, this is what that person did, and had no information whatsoever about what's going down. People always do this in the social media era. They want to be first. Whoever gets to it first is the best, quote unquote. Anything for the likes and the retweets. Get all the information that you get all the information out, get as much information as possible before you form an opinion. Don't just come out and say something because everybody else is jumping, just because saying how high, just because everybody else jumps. Make sure you get your info. We don't even know all the information with this. That's why, Nick is right. You can't just come out and just blast and just say something crazy just because it's a story in social media. You want to get your clout. People just looking for clout. Get the information, then you form an opinion and you move from there. So like I said, lastly, it's sad on all levels, and we'll see what happens in the future.
Now, one thing I do want to ask you guys, and I do want to ask you because of who we are here. I think we guys are pretty well. We respect each other. We love each other here. We can kind of talk any way that we can on this. One thing that I did hear was Stephen A. Smith. I don't know if you all seen one of his takes on there. Was saying that if a white person would have done this, would it been publicized as much? And basically what he said is there's a lot of white people out there doing the same thing, but it doesn't get on air like this. Now, do you think that is fair, or is it more because me personally on this side, it's because Celtics has a rule against it. Like no other organization that I know of has a rule like there's nothing that you can do on this, Like I thought it was if Boston didn't have this rule, we probably wouldn't even really been hearing about it as much other than Nia Long's husband cheated, on the celebrity side. Now, right. I do want to know how, and I'm doing it respectfully, of course. I don't want you all to think I'm saying anything wrong.
Nah, bro.
Yeah.
You good, bro. Listen, man. I don't even look at it from that. I mean, it's a standpoint you could look at it from in certain situations. You could definitely look at it from that standpoint. But I'm just looking at the character of the man. I'm not looking at his skin color. That's what Stephen A. That's what these guys like to do all the time. They like to use skin color for clout. I judge a man by their character. It don't matter what color their skin is, off rip. He made a terrible decision. Yeah, it don't matter it don't matter what his name is, what his last name is, or any. He made a terrible decision that affected himself, his family, his job. You feel me? Like this is what we do. This is what we talking about. Like Stephen A. He be doing that. He plays that game to reach a certain audience, bro. That's not us. You feel me? I'm judging homie by what he did. And he messed everything we talked about was life and basketball, not that extra stuff, Like that extra stuff is like, for the cloud. Like I said, if it don't matter what he looked like, if he had made that terrible decision, I would critique him the same way. It'd be the same thing because at the end of the day, it's your life and you decided to do that and you have to pay for the consequences. It doesn't matter what he looks like. That's the bottom line. That's it.
Awesome. Okay.
I agree with CJ.
Well, good, because when I seen that, I thought that was just such a bad take, and I just thought, one, the way the country kind of is as far as pins and needles on different way of saying anything in that situation. I thought, that's almost even adding a more dividend. I don't know if that's the right word. Dividing even more.
Division.
Yes. Division. Like the man did wrong. It doesn't matter who he is. He did wrong, and that's all it should have been. Is he did wrong. His wife. Or are they married?
I think they were engaged.
Okay, I think they've been engaged for a couple years. Actually, as I said, I want to see that I seen something like 5 years, and I thought, well, that should have been a red flag there. But his relationship with Miss Long is what he damaged the most, and that's where the focus needs to be on. It doesn't need to be on any other curtains that's going to go on to make any other side stories to where you're trying to actually get more publicized or get more views. Like, let's focus on the main thing here. And I just thought, when I heard him say that, I just thought, man, that's the wrong time to be saying anything like that. But Nick, go ahead. I kind of jumped the gun on you there, so go ahead.
No, you're good. I mean, but let's just be honest. I mean, and I told this to y'all yesterday, and I mean, you just see so many people. I mean, even CJ alluded to, a lot of people just giving their own opinions on social media. It's majority of people that don't even watch basketball. They don't even keep up with basketball. They probably didn't even know who Ime Udoka was before the situation. The reason why it's such a big news is because who he's with. Nia Long has been a long time actor for like 30 plus years, and it's an unfortunate situation because she has nothing to do with this. It's like immediately after the story came out, she was trending on Twitter, and it's like, oh my god, like what the heck is like, why is Nia Long trending on Twitter? And then obviously you see that, so it's like it sucks for her because. Hopefully she's not really catching any slack from it, which I don't believe she is. But it's like, she doesn't have anything to do with the situation. This is totally on Udoka. This is his wrongdoing. He should take full accountability for it. And, it's just an unfortunate situation all around. But I definitely do agree with CJ. I'm not really looking at the color. I'm really looking at the character in the decision making that he did. Udoka should definitely be held accountable for this, honestly, in my opinion. And like I mentioned earlier, we probably still don't even have all of the reports. They probably still don't know. There may be more that may be leaked out possibly within the next few days. So you just never know. So This is just my opinion. I know that he's suspended, but if more does come out and it does seem pretty bad, like if there's like any like sexual harassment allegations or anything, he's probably going to get fired, and it's going to be unfortunate for him because he's such a great coach. He may not even get a job in the NBA again, which kind of sucks, man. So it's just a crazy situation all around. I don't know what's next, but right now it's just not really looking too good for him.
And I mean, on a professional level, it sucks for him because I mean his future was so bright, especially with Boston right now. I mean, they went from what we always talk about, I think it was like January 6th, where they were under 500, and from there made the tweaks on the rosters and their schemes, and then all of a sudden they come out and they go off on like a 30-10 run, basically, go into the NBA Finals and everything. I mean, you learn from that, you bounce back, you add who you did, even though they lost Galley for the year. You have that to build on, and now you have this. Like this to me, unfortunately, too, just rains a big cloud over Boston Celtics season. Like if for some reason whoever is going to be intern coaching for them, if they kind of start, I'm going to say, flopping a little bit starting out, it's going to be, oh wow, this Boston is not good without their coach, or wow, they can't get past the the social medias it's going to go on. Like this is going to be hindering them all season long unless they can come out fire from the beginning. So I mean, he tanked the whole season for him, really.
Honestly, hey CJ, you think you could pull up the Matt Barnes video if you could find it?
Yeah. Try to see if I can pull that up.
Yeah,
the one that he went back to correct, or the one that because I thought he took it down.
Yeah, so the first one came out Thursday night, and this was right after the Celtics had announced that they were going to suspend Udoka for the entire regular season. So me and Matt Barnes were on the same page because by the reports, it was both
me and
parties.
Matt Barnes were on the same page.
I mean, hey, we were. I mean, at the time, the reports were it was consensual on both sides between Udoka and the woman that he was involved with. So that's why I was saying, you know what? Like, if both parties were consensual, I do believe that he should be held accountable, but I didn't believe that he should be suspended for the entire season. And then that's when the next day, I think Matt Barnes immediately deleted that post after he posted it, and then came out the next day with another video saying that he can't condone anything that went on. So by the looks of that video, it's pretty bad. That's what I mean when I say we probably don't have all the details,
right?
And they might get leaked possibly soon.
So here's the video that Nick is referring to. We'll play this for our listeners.
They won't come out and say it. And since I'm a part of the media now, and I try not to be like everyone else, I try to, report and talk with facts and honesty. And I clearly have to say last night, without knowing all the facts, I spoke on Ime Udoka's defense. And after finding out the facts after I spoke, I erased what I posted because this situation in Boston is deep. It's messy. It's 100 times uglier than any of us thought. And that's why I erased what I said. Some things happened that I can't condone, I can't back. And it's not my place to tell you what happened. If it ends up coming out, it ends up coming out. But that was the reason why I erased my post last night, because after I posted it, I got a call from someone who had all the details, and shit is deep. So, man, praying for everybody involved. Hope everyone gets through this. And I saw a lot of blogs picked up what I said, even though it was only on my page for like 2 minutes. So
you don't have to play the rest of the thing.
All right.
Yeah. So basically, yeah, so.
Yo, so, one thing he said was, I came to Ime Udoka's defense. What are you defending him for again?
Well, like I said, I mean, so basically, like I said, I mean, the reports came out that both parties were consensual. So that's why I'm not saying that I was defending Udoka, but I disagreed on the entire regular season suspension. That was what I was disagreeing on.
But let me ask you something though. If it's something in your contract where it say if you violate this certain situation in your contract, and if you violate it, you're liable to get fired, you're gonna abide by that contract, right?
No, 100%. I agree.
Okay, so
100%.
he knew what the rules was. He made a bad decision, man.
No, you're right. You're right about that.
I mean, I don't. It's sad, but I don't feel bad, and I'm not going to defend him. I really like putting my career out there.
But here's the thing I'm going to ask you though.
I don't even know him or know any of the facts. People, that's what I'm saying. People just jumping on Twitter. Listen, man.
That's what's crazy. Like it doesn't matter. Like people automatically will choose a side. It's human nature, one side or the other. But like we need to know more.
That's another podcast. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But
podcast.
Because even in our Unwrapped Sports Network, the basketball chat that we have, a lot of people is like, I can't believe they're suspending him for a year. That's crazy. And other people's like, oh, he deserves to be fired. And like, we still don't even know what's going on with everything. Like, and that was when we thought that they were a couple, or at least my news that I was hearing was that they were in a relationship that had lasted for a while. So it was consent. And then, because I even seen some gifs that were saying like consent. Then it had like a Boston Celtics meme behind them and it's saying, no, consent here. And that's where the trouble was coming from. So like, I get, I guess in a way, the defending, like maybe he meant not for the year suspension, defend him. Hey, he doesn't deserve that. But if it says you can't have any type of relationships with any people in the organization, there's no way you can say, oh, they're doing him wrong here. Like it legit says not to do that. Like if I go down the road and I get a ticket for speeding 100 miles per hour because the cop pulls me over and it's 55, like nobody can defend me and say, hey, he shouldn't be getting this ticket. I didn't obey by the rules. Like, I mean, that's just what it is.
It's
like,
facts. Yeah,
my old coach used to say, if it looks like a duck, it's a duck.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Of course, he throws more words in there, but
here's what I'm gonna ask you, CJ. Like, here's what I'm gonna ask you real quick. So, I mean, you mentioned it earlier, like this is the Boston Celtics, one of the storied franchises in the NBA. So, like you said, I mean, if it's a part of that contract that you're not supposed to have any type of relations within, like any of the staff members, that you should get fired. So regardless of whether it was consensual or not, why do you think that they didn't just fire him immediately after that instead of just waiting to give him that suspension?
Well, I'm not saying he should get fired. I'm saying if you violate something in the contract, you have to pay the consequences. That could be getting fired or getting suspended. I just want to clarify that. I know what you're saying. Okay. I just want to clarify for somebody who may have a question about that. Yeah, I mean, listen, he's still. They went to the finals. We was in the group chat. I was like, they went to if they had got knocked out in the first round, out of there.
Oh yeah,
no
easily. Hesitation.
But since they went to the finals, of course, they went to the finals 2-1 against the Warriors. Last person to only do that in the finals was Kawhi, right?
Yeah.
So that put you know what I'm saying? Yeah, they didn't get it done, but they're right there, 24-25 respectively. And he led them to the finals. So he's talented enough to keep his job, but this is it. Working on a tight line.
I want to know what the law or what the rule in the contract that he broke. Like, I want to see it written out.
I don't know. It's probably against staff, having or whatever. Like I said, we'll find out. When the information comes out.
Yeah.
But I mean, I definitely
violated that. I've seen some stories. I don't know. I've seen some little things here and there online. I don't know if it's true or not, so I'm not going to bring it to our platform. You feel me? But I'm just saying, like, it's probably really bad, man. It's probably
I'm reading Vic's comment here, and I'm loving it.
He says, yeah, that's Nia Long.
Except for you get Klondike bars. I run butt naked and get tased by 100 cops.
Yeah, sometimes when you get to a certain spot in your life, these people, they feel like they have all the power. He's the head coach of the Boston Celtics. He probably feel like you know what I mean?
He had that swag working in there.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I'm the head coach of the Boston Celtics. Mm-hmm. What's up?
He had that energy.
We just went 51-31. That's a bad energy. Because you know why? Because your pride and ego could get caught in the way, and you can make a terrible decision like that man.
And ruined his career. More than likely ruined his basketball career.
Now, we don't know for sure. We don't know for sure.
Right. It's possible. He put it in jeopardy for sure. He definitely put it in jeopardy, but we don't know exactly.
Let me back that up. He put his career up in shambles. We don't know what's going to happen now. Can he bounce back with whatever it would do from this? Because if he does get fired, a year or two, he'll probably get another coaching job at some level.
I don't know. So this is my opinion though. I feel like him. I feel like him.
Well,
getting
I mean, we don't know what
suspended
happened exactly. So
like
we
him-
just find out what happened. Right.
The Celtics suspending him is probably the best thing for him right now because I feel like if he were to get fired, that's it. Like in my opinion. So now it's like, you get suspended for an entire year. He has an opportunity to come back next year. I mean, unless Boston makes another decision in between now and a year from now. But
or unless that assistant coach takes them to the finals too.
yeah.
Now,
I personally don't believe that's going to happen. Personally,
now, and wins.
What,
Even may not even if they don't win, because now it's like it's right here. Then you got situation.
Yeah.
This guy doesn't have a situation.
Oh, who coached this last year?
Yeah, exactly. We're gonna stay with that guy. So that's what I'm saying. When you put your job at jeopardy, you have the potential of somebody else taking it too.
Do you? Let's talk about this a little bit before we stay on this because we're already 30 minutes in it, and the whole episode is actually to talk about this other division. So let's kind of at least hit this a little bit before we move on, which I think this is a great topic that we're on. Okay, he's suspended at least for a year. We know that now. So are we assuming assistant coach stepping up for intern coach, or do we think maybe Brad Stevens could come back and coach?
No,
what do you all think is going to happen here?
They already announced that that they're going to bring in an interim coach. What's his name? I just had it. Joe Mazzulla.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I'm shaking my head. Yeah, like I know who that is, but
yeah,
okay.
I don't really know much about him. I do know that he was on the sidelines last year, so I guess he'll probably implement some of those same strategics that Udoka used into this team. I'm just gonna be honest, man. Like, I mean, I know that Boston still has Tatum. They got Brown. They got Malcolm Brogdon, and they're still a very talented team, but. This is my opinion. I just don't see them being as good as they were last year without the great head coach of Udoka, and it's sad.
We're gonna see, and I feel like so Will Hardy was the top assistant guy for the Celtics last year. That's why he got the Utah Jazz job.
Mm-hmm.
So this guy was probably right there, second in line.
So
that's true.
If he would have stayed, it'd probably been his.
Yeah, well, for Will Hardy, yeah, probably. But I'd much rather be in the Utah situation because at least, you taking L's early on. But you're taking L's early on. I mean, because of
it's expected
right now.
Right.
Look, I'm saying with the Udoka situation, but not team for team. Of course, you take the Celtics. Where they're gonna try to cancel you, man. You feel me? It's crazy, but
it's just you dog Utah so much. You're like,
they're gonna try to basketball cancel me. I had to clarify that, but but still, so they got that assistant guy there. So we'll see. And like I said, like Nick just broke down the roster. I mean, I agree. I mean, I don't know if they're gonna go to the finals. I mean, because again, there's much parity in the Eastern Conference now. I still like Brooklyn. It's it's like I said, as interesting as characters as those are in the book. Yeah, they're very talented. So it's going to be a battle. And yeah, you're right. He did something with that team to where they felt like, that's my guy. I'm gonna run through a wall for him. Let's go to the chip. So he has that element, and we'll see if they're able to still keep that kind of in the same energy. And then we'll see what this head coach is. Maybe this head coach could use this opportunity and try to get himself a job.
Absolutely, 100%.
Next man up.
Yeah. Only thing I think of here is I think of Sean Payton back when what was it? The headhunters they used with the Saints. Bountygate. They weren't the same team after they won the Super Bowl without their head coach. I mean, they were good, but they weren't as good. So, I mean, without your captain up there making the play calls or bringing in the swag, the confidence, sometimes that's contagious. Having that one that who is confident comes in, hey, this is our play. This is going to work. We're going to take it here. Tatum's going to get it over here, and this is going to work. This is what we're doing on defense. You're going to lock them up, and this is how we're going to do it. You got somebody else come in there and says, all right, guys, this is the play I designed, and I think it's going to work for us. You get a little doubtful. You get a little iffy in there, and it don't work the same.
No, you need that alpha. You definitely need that alpha. But a lot of people will throw this lazy trash take out here and say, "Yo, these players they don't need coaches. Look at LeBron, and you look, he took Joe, Jim, and Bob to the finals. Okay, So, which
Where
one
do you
is
get those names from?
I don't know, some random names, right? It's just popped in my
It's
brain.
like, wait, what?
Those were the widest names too.
Joe, Jim, and Bob.
Those are just generic names. It don't got a color to it, bro. But it's just It's
I
just
mean, really?
nah, man.
I don't know any Bobs that are not
I
blind.
know a couple Roberts, man, for sure.
Well, I mean Roberts, but Bob.
Yeah. I mean, what's the difference? It's the same thing. But yeah, like I said, man, we get off topic, but it's gonna be a situation they're gonna have to figure out over there at the end of the day, and it's sad.
Joe, Jim, and Bob.
It's gonna be an interesting year.
Joe, Jim, and Bob. Yes, it is. Honestly, we didn't really get to talk about the Sarver situation either.
Goodness. I'm sorry.
I thought we did last week. Didn't
ran
we?
out of the end zone,
Or did we not?
Nah, we didn't really get to talk about it. If you guys have any thoughts on that, I have a couple thoughts, but what's your thoughts on the situation now? It's looking like he wants to sell the team, which obviously he's going to get pressured into doing. This is the new era that we're in. You're going to get bullied by the media.
So
is that what you said? Okay, I'm sorry.
Suns,
I was watching the football game. Jimmy G just ran out of the back of the end zone.
Sarver got suspended for a year.
For a year, yeah.
And that's where I want to go with it, because let's go back to 8 years ago. Los Angeles Clippers had the owner Donald Sterling, and this is like this was like, I think I want to say that was Adam Silver's first year as commissioner. I think David Stern had just left, and now Silver was stepping in. So obviously the situation happened with Donald Sterling. He had a mistress. A phone call leaked out, basically saying he was basically asking his mistress, "Why are you hanging around black people? Why are you bringing black people to my games? This and this and this and that." So obviously that came out, and that was really like Adam Silver's first test as far as like what he was going to do with that situation. And I'll be real, like he surprised me when he banned her for life. Like I didn't expect it to be that. Well, I didn't know at the time. Like I'm not mad at it, bro. I'm not mad at it. Like
that's his first big situation. Of course, you got to ban him, bro.
You never know.
That's his first. No, what, bro? He would have got. It would have been the first. His first and last.
I didn't know for life.
Commissioner.
I didn't know. Look, I'm not disagreeing with it. I'm not mad at it.
But I'm not disagreeing. Yeah. I'm not mad. I'm just saying, like, he had to do it though. There was no hesitation. Like,
100%. But
PR perspective, they would have got obliterated.
No, I definitely agree with that. So now let's backtrack to what's going on right now with Robert Sarver. So, in my opinion, this is a lot worse than the Donald Sterling. Obviously both situations are bad. I'm not saying that the Donald Sterling situation is not bad, but when you talk about Robert Sarver, has been 15 plus years of racism, sexual allegations, and everything, sexual remarks towards employees. There was even a story that came out last year. I think it was around 2014, 15-ish when LaMarcus Aldridge was a free agent, and apparently the Suns were trying to sign LaMarcus Aldridge, and I can't remember exactly what happened in the story, but it was apparently a really bad situation. So, like I mentioned, this is 15 plus years of a lot of things from Robert Sarver, and it's kind of ironic how Chris Paul just keep ending up on these teams. It's crazy, but we're getting off topic with that. But I don't understand I don't understand the year suspension for Robert Sarver when Donald Sterling got a lifetime ban. And like I said, in my situation, the Robert Sarver situation is a lot worse, in my opinion, than the Donald Sterling situation. That's just my opinion. I've seen multiple opinions on Twitter saying that Silver couldn't ban him for life because of this and that. And I'm like, well, what made it so easy? Like, I don't know if certain things have changed, because I get it. It was 8 years ago, but that man does not deserve to be around an NBA franchise whatsoever. I know that he's selling the team, or both teams, the Mercury and the Suns, but yeah, he should have practically got banned for life, in my opinion.
Yeah, the reason why, I agree with you. I agree with you definitely. If you're gonna do one for one owner, well, I don't want to say one for the set because every situation is different.
Right.
I'm like Phil Knight. I'm paraphrasing here. It's different when the money's involved. This is Logan. Shout out Vic. What's good, bro? When you're the owner, of course, yeah. When you're the owner, obviously, the boss of Adam Silver is Robert Sarver. So, what risky line? The owners are gonna have to
Wow.
come together.
I didn't know
get
that.
him out of there. Yeah. The commissioner.
The commissioner works for the
Commissioner is the spokesperson of the owners
for any league.
For any league. Yeah. So he's not this like median judge of between the players and I mean, obviously that's an ideal world, and if you want your business to work, obviously you have to have that type of relationship between employee and employer if you want to have a successful business. But yeah, at the end of the day, he listens to whatever the owners say. So it's going to be the owners are going to have to force him to get up out of there, and that's what they wanted with Sterling. Like I said, bro, like I'm not. Are we supposed to congratulate him for banning Donald Sterling? Like that's the most obvious thing you had to do, and that's your first. That's your first stint. That's your first stint as a commissioner. You had to do it. Now you're here 8 years later. It's a little different, and the owners wanted it because again, they weren't a fan of Don. Nobody liked him amongst the owners. They weren't fans of his. He has Robert Sarver, not the same situation. He has some friends that are owners that maybe your favorite owner might be a friend of Robert Sarver. Facts. So it's a little different. It's a little different now when you do these investigations.
Sadly, in a way, it's almost political. Like, who's your friend?
Sure. Yeah, it's all about who you know. And when you're at the top, you can make all those type of moves because you have that power. So yeah, the situation is very different. I agree. You could definitely argue the Robert Sarver situation is definitely worse because you're creating a toxic environment. And now I could see why the Suns were so dirt for the last 20 years after Nash left, or the last decade after Nash left, until they got CP3 and started to figure it out now, like 2 years ago. But before that, they were poverty. We were talking about Devin Booker getting up out of there multiple years. Honestly, as soon as he dropped 71, we was like, yo, he's not going to do nothing with this squad. But now they figured it out. Good for them. And then for me too, it's like, if I know that's my employer, I'm not going to work there. I'm dipping. I'm out of there. These people, they still pulled up. They joined there. They got a check. They let them sign his checks and all that. I get it. Situations is different, but can't just come out and then now that it came out, you want to start crying and talking about, oh, he did this, he did that. But you were still taking a check from him, bro. So if you still had that type of integrity, you would have dipped, But again, he's going to sell the team. He's going to get pressure to sell the team. Of course, again, this is a PR world we live in. It's all about appeasing the people that put the dollars to the product, and they're going to get him out of there. They're going to bring in Bezos, or Bezos probably going to have an NFL team and an NBA team by 2023. You could book that. The guy's like Iron Man. So he's going to have a team, and they're going to move on. They're going to move on from this, and they're going to move on from Sarver, and that's it. That's what you do with these owners. Sell a team, get your $3 billion, and just cool out on the island. Is that really an L?
That's what's even crazy. Like
taking no L's in this. You get to sell a team for $3 billion, chill on the island. Oh, you don't have people hitting you up on social media? Wow.
I mean, yeah. like
he cares about that.
Like, okay, I mean, obviously what he did is wrong, but like in his head, he's sitting here thinking, okay, I sell the team, I make even more money, and I retire. Like, it's stress-free even now. Like,
and the team is much more valuable than what it was 3 years ago. Because like I just said,
it's worth more. Yeah.
So I mean, like, he's not. Yeah, he lost. He doesn't have to own the team anymore. And obviously, that's a goal of mine, is to own the team. That's fire, bro. That's why we all play 2K and play the league, because we want to be an owner type one day. So that's one of the gifts that you have, and you took advantage of it by creating a toxic environment in your organization. So you, again, same thing with the Udoka thing. You deserve the consequences of what you do. And it's time for him to dip. That's it.
Truth. 100% facts right there.
That's what we bring here at CTB, man. That's all.
I can't transition into anything after that. Like, I mean,
drop the mic.
Absolutely. Episode done. Bam. And now we'll go ahead and transition on over. I mean, yeah, you guys said it in a whole nutshell. There's no way I could say anything better than what you all just said. Both of y'all make great points on that. But we are getting up to almost an hour here. We're up to almost 50 minutes now. Are we ready to kind of transition on into the division and see where we're going on there
hoops,
now?
bro. Let's talk to
let's do it.
all this other crap.
Yeah, I mean, listen, guys.
We are talking hoops, but
yes, yeah, we got to cover all phases. We got to cover all
true.
phases of the game. We got to show the people how multifaceted we are when it comes to talking about this game. Not just the X's and O's, but also the news. That's what we bring to the table here with everybody.
Now, I want to back up one thing. Do you think Chris Paul did help bring this to a head a little bit?
I'm sure to play the fact. I think it just, possibly. You said, 15 years? Nobody said nothing for 15. Nash was there.
Yeah.
What's up with that? Nash was there. Nash never said nothing. So what's good? Not a word from Nash. Not a word from Grant Hill. Not a word from none of these players.
Amari.
I know. I think one player said something. I think Matt Barnes might have said something.
Was Barkley there then? No.
Barkley was like in the 90s.
He was on TNT by then. Yeah, he was on TNT.
Yeah. Listen, guys, I'm old. I kind of forget what 15 years ago.
I'm not really hearing nothing from a lot of these players that were asked that were. So I heard players talk about Sterling, Baron Davis.
Right.
The knuckleheads, Q Rich and Darius Mott, they were talking about. They were saying,
it's crazy. Like they actually stopped Kobe from going to LA because I think after Shaq had left, they were looking to trade Kobe to LA, but they stopped him from going to the Clippers. Because of Donald Sterling. It's crazy.
Great man.
Speaking of Kobe, one more topic before we get into basketball. Have you all seen the Kobe documentary that they're coming out with?
Oh yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready for it. You talking about the Team USA one?
They're showing clips now where he said, "First play, I'm going straight to Gasol's chest." And how
I'm ready. I'm ready.
not trying to make this about LeBron, but you could see a separation of the two, even the way they talked about like Kobe mentality. Like you always hear it, but like. That is a man with that kind of attitude. And then you see LeBron's like, wow, I can't believe he's doing this. Like, hold up, he's the best. Like, in my head, I even sitting there thinking, listen, because I've not been a big Kobe fan my whole life. Like, I never really liked Kobe as a fan, like always respect, but not a fan favorite. And then just watching that, I was like, wow, like listening to you talk just about Kobe almost makes me see Kobe surpassing you in just the way that he's ready to play this game now. So like I'm pumped to kind of see a different side that I never really dived into much on Kobe that much because I never liked the whole not passing guy. That's Jason Kidd's my favorite player. I love that. So that's just me fan.
The Kobe no pass narrative is the worst thing ever. Like I'm sorry. Like it's so bad.
Well, what I'm saying is, like, I mean, it was his mentality was a scoring mentality, so that's totally fine. It's not my cup of tea of a favorite player. Like, if I play ball, I need that player on my team to score for me because I got to pass it to him. But, like, I would rather watch Jason Kidd any day of the week just to see what he comes up with because that's my style. So I'm not saying that I don't like Kobe. I'm just saying I never watched him play much deep to see much about him because I would rather watch a passer.
No, I agree. I agree with everything you're saying, man. Listen, everybody has it's just like art. Everybody has a favorite artist. Right. It's just like music. Everybody has a favorite musician, and that's exactly what basketball is. You have a favorite style. Jason Kidd pushed it. Lloyd's a legend. No, shout out New York. Facts. And
Absolutely.
everybody has a different style, and I'm glad it's just transitioned to something I was thinking about too throughout the week. So I'm glad you brought this up. Okay, yeah, go discussion this and that, cool. But at the end of the day, if you really look at it, yes, obviously the eras are different. We talk about this, we say this all the time. The eras are different, and you look at the averages, it's really just 3 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists. From a difference between Jordan, Kobe, and LeBron. So we're really nitpicking when we do this, type of situation.
Statistically.
Yeah. So like when we say LeBron just has a passing mentality. He could go average 30 if he wanted to, just like those guys. He just has a passing mentality. And this is what I'm saying. Everybody has a different style. That's what makes LeBron special, is because he's different than Jordan. He's not going to be the same. And Kobe was different than Jordan too. People want to call him whatever Jordan clone, he was completely different than Jordan 2.
Preach, CJ, preach.
Oh my God. Even LeBron, Cleveland 1.0 was more of a passer than he is now. Like he's more of a scorer now, and then pass if he needs to when the help comes or anything like that. So I even say as LeBron's went on in his career, he's not nearly as much of a passer as he used to be.
Well, yeah, and then also that record, trying to get to that Kareem.
He tried to get to points too. We know that,
but that's a legend, bro. If I just
fired up today,
I just don't understand like how you don't have this man top 3, bro. This man's about to pass Kareem Abdul-Jabbar all time in scoring.
I like how you said 3, not 2.
Do you know what other narrative makes me upset? You want to know what other narrative makes me upset? Is that people say, like, I've heard people so many times say that LeBron is not a scorer. What are you watching, bro? What are you watching? Like,
it's just not. You know what it is?
How can you be like this close to being the number 1 all-time scorer in NBA history, but you are not a scorer? I don't understand it.
LeBron, they just heard someone else say it and they're repeating. They have no idea what they're talking about.
It's because his style of scoring is very it's not like Kobe and Jordan in that it's more finesse. His is more power with finesse. So that's why you see Gilbert Arenas throwing shots at Giannis, which is blasphemy.
Oh my God.
We can talk about that next. We can talk about that.
Yeah, I'm about to say, we're not gonna get into that now because I definitely got some things to say.
But I just want to say this: LeBron's scoring style is different. Kobe did the fadeaways, Jordan did the fadeaway, the shimmy, regardless of the shoulder. And then it was fire to watch. It was an art that a lot of people gravitated towards. LeBron's is set the screen, let me get the mismatch, bang time. And if they collapse, like Michael said, we're kicking it out to the shooters. So, it's different. It's different style, different era. If Jordan played in this era, he's averaging 30-point triple-double. I promise you.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Not even
100%.
Not even a discussion. 30-point triple-double for multiple seasons, probably his whole career. But see what Westbrook is doing? He would do the exact same thing, but better defensively,
and can shoot the 3.
And can shoot the 3.
You got to think as well though. Like the Jordan's, like at least in like 5 of his first 7 years. Jordan averaged at least 28 a game, at least.
Yeah, I was playing the Jordan Challenge, and you had to be Jordan in North Carolina. Yo, that paint was so clogged. Oh my God! There was no 3-point. There was no 3-point line in college back. I mean, it started in 1980, but I didn't have it in college back then. So I'm like,
and still, it wasn't really a thing. Like it was there, but like you still didn't shoot it that much.
Yeah, look at this line. I'm still gonna shoot inside of it. I'm not shooting that, which is insane to think about.
Percentage.
That's insane to think about, bro. Like, I'm not shooting out here. Nah, I'm good. We're gonna shoot in the 2s for 2 decades.
Yeah,
that's crazy. All right, but yeah. I was going to the paint. It was just slashing, bro. When I was playing Jordan in North Carolina. So just imagine if he played in that spacing today. 30, 50, 60-point triple doubles.
And there's people talking about like that Jordan couldn't do that because the bigs that they have now, as athletic as they are, that could help on the defense weak side. I'm like, Jordan still did you not see him dunking on like Patrick Ewing, dunking on Dikembe? Like, do you think like
what these big bigs are soft?
That point doesn't even make anybody that says
I'm not gonna go that far.
And that's an NBA player saying it.
It don't matter. Listen, if somebody makes that statement, it's lazy because Jordan was dropped. Like I just said, bro, there was no spacing back then when Jordan was playing. So everything was in the paint. He had to find ways to score in the paint with 3-4 people in there, including his teammates in the paint.
Listen, what? And it was just today. I sat there and watched it in awe. And of course, it's a highlight of Jordan. It looked like he jumped past the big block, went up in the air, faked it here, and then still on the way down shot the reverse on the opposite side. And you're like, that's probably an 8-foot like distance that he just traveled in the air and shot it to the other side with a congested paint. If he only had one person there, like that's a piece of cake.
And he flourished in a big man era.
Yeah. At 6'5", 6'6", I think he was.
Yeah, so people are saying that's like, oh, he can't it would be so easy for him today. Oh, this is Reed. Oh, you're going to collapse on me because I'm going to slash to the basket. Oh, here you go. Shooter, Kerr, Kukoc should probably be one of the great, would be right up there in terms of 3-point shooting. Kerr, obviously, numbers would be much inflated had he
Kerr
played
would be
in
like
this era.
a Klay Thompson, right?
Maybe not defensively, but yeah, maybe like a Steve, like I don't know who's to be like, but he's a knockdown shooter.
We'll just say JJ Redick for the time being.
Right. Redick is cool, and that's who he'd be, man. So yeah, everybody has different styles, different ways they score, and that's why we love the game. That was my overall point.
But hey, y'all, like just before we get into our main topic, just like one more topic. I want to get back into the. I want to get back into the Team USA doc, the clip where Kobe goes into Powell's chest, and he mentioned that he runs into Powell's chest. The reason why I get so fired up is because if you remember, the Lakers had just lost to the Celtics in that year, and Powell was getting obliterated by Garnett, Kendrick Perkins, like you mentioned it. So that moment right there was kind of like a message being sent to Powell, like as far as like what I'm saying, like you got to get stronger, you got to get tougher, because Powell was a great player. And that's why I like, when Andrew Bynum was with the team, that they slid him to the 4, because Powell is not a banger like his brother Mark is. He's a finesse player. He's really talented with the ball. He can handle the rock. He can pass. He can knock down mid-range shots. So that wasn't necessarily Powell's game, but he still had to get a little bit of an edge to him. So that's why I like that clip so much, because Kobe was just really trying to send a message to him, saying that, next year we got to get stronger and we got to get tougher.
Powell, one of the most underrated sidekicks in NBA history.
Facts.
He did in those 3 years with the Lakers when they went back to back. Absolutely phenomenal. I know he was good at Memphis / Vancouver, but when you go to the big stage, you play for the Lakers, it's a different deal. When you go play for the Lakers, man, it's a different scenario, different type of vibe, and he lived up to it. He's going to get that statue. I'm proud of him. We actually found out, too, that George Mikan is going to also get his jersey retired. We had talked about that during the finals. We was doing our pre-watch parties, so that was good to hear as well. That reminded me of that. But, yeah, man, let's get into the Central Division, man. Let's go.
We're about an hour in.
And the show now starts.
No, it's great NBA talk, man. Great NBA talk.
Did y'all know that during the offseason that Powell would actually be like a doctor back in his home country? Like he had his doctorate. I mean, that's awesome.
Veterinarian, yeah.
Yes, sir.
No, I think like he actually did surgeries and stuff on humans, like not just.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's what's up.
Yeah. So we'll start off with Milwaukee Bucks. Finished last season 51-31. Of course, they had some injuries throughout the year. Didn't finish the season full strong. Chris Middleton didn't play in the playoffs when they got bounced. Drew Holiday, now probably one of the more overrated person a little bit compared to beginning of his career, underrated. So need to find it in the middle there. Of course, now they actually said on NBA.com, CJ doesn't agree with me. I want to get into that just a little bit more. It's a lead into that. Drew Holiday is probably the most underrated player in his whole career. But now that he's with the Bucks, I kind of feel like they are saying he's much more higher. Like what I'm kind of getting at, like they really missed Chris Middleton last year, because I was high on Drew Holiday when they won it. I really felt like he was going to be their 2 guy instead of the 3 guy. So even I think I built him up a little bit more. Maybe he was Batgirl when Chris Middleton is Robin, the third person in that unit. So I don't know. I want to get into that and see a little bit more. But Chris Middleton already now is not going to be starting the season on the roster or full strength. We'll be missing some time. Don't know how long that will be. What are we thinking? We'll start with you, CJ. How do you think this team's going to finish in the division? Not the Eastern Conference or Eastern, but just the division.
Yeah, I think it'll be much of the same in the division. Because, again, they have an identity. They know what they want to do defensively. They know who they are offensively in terms of giving Giannis the ball. He's completely special in his abilities, able to get to the basket, also creating for others, one of the greatest underrated passers in the NBA we have today. We only just look at the Euro steps and the dunks, but his passing is definitely elite, and it should be talked about more. And the Bucks they're going to be a really good team. They got Joe Ingles coming off the ACL. Hopefully he can stay healthy. He's a knockdown shooter, can defend a little bit. We'll see how much athleticism that he might have lost in that ACL tear. They do really good surgeries now with that, so maybe he should be good and good to go. They re-signed. They gave an extension to Bobby Portis, which I think is extremely necessary. He's a big knockdown shooter. He can space the floor. He could be in your small ball lineup. He could be in your closing lineup. He's a really good young player for them. I think he's going to be special for them. And obviously, yeah, Chris Middleton, you got to keep Chris Middleton. He really solidified himself as a really good number 2. He was definitely needed in that series against the Celtics. They still forced 7 games, but they could have used his shot creation 100%. And yeah, Drew Holiday, I see what you're saying. I always felt like he was a third option anyway, so I really didn't view him as anything like outside of that. I knew he would, he would have a heightened role because Middleton would be gone. I just feel like that's just not his scheme. When he's that third option, give you 18 to 22, and the things that he brings defensively, that makes him an excellent option behind Middleton and obviously Giannis Antetokounmpo. So I think it's a good team. Budenholzer's a really good coach. There was some questions about Budenholzer a few years ago, but obviously winning that championship silences all the noise. And I think they're going to be right up there with these top teams like we talked about, with Brooklyn, with Philadelphia, Boston as well. I still think Boston's going to be, despite everything, they're still going to be really good. So yeah, those are the cream of the crop right there. I know you said this division, but we know they're going to splash through this division. We know they have Chicago's number. It's a bad matchup for Chicago because Chicago they want to stick.
What happened? You just said splashing through them, bro. Like Chicago don't exist. Cleveland right there. Like
they're gonna smash through Chicago because Chicago has a stretch 5 and he just has no answers for Giannis. You put Giannis at the 5 going up against Vucevic. That's food.
Oh yeah.
All three of us know that.
So everyone does know that are listening, Milwaukee Bucks, Chicago Bulls, Cleveland Cavaliers, Indiana Pacers, and Detroit Pistons are the teams in this division. So just so everyone listening and watching can kind of know who we're talking about are going to be eaten here, basically. So I don't want to get too far ahead of myself as far as discussing some of these other teams, just kind of going with you. Indiana obviously is rebuilding the crap out of it. Cleveland making some trades. Like I said, we'll get more into that. And then you've got Pistons who've made leaps and bounds, I think, in the past year to 2 years. Is Chicago going to be the bottom in this division?
No.
I don't think it'll be the Pacers. No. I think it'll be the Pacers.
The Pacers definitely. The Pacers. Go ahead, CJ.
Yeah, Chicago's interesting. Obviously, the Lonzo Ball situation is very alarming for the simple fact that, I'm a big fan of Lonzo. He's a great player, and I think he has I think his style would have definitely helped the Bulls in the playoffs last year. Him advancing the ball before defenses getting their set and their half-court set. It's very difficult. All 3 of us, you guys know, watching the playoffs, watching these high-pressure games, you know that when defense is getting their half-court set, it's very difficult to score on. And you have a guy like Lonzo Ball, he could push the pace and get some easy buckets, transition baskets. He was really good at that. And obviously, DeRozan and Levine love to slash. So, that was unfortunate that he wasn't there for them. And now now he's getting surgery. I feel like he should have got surgery last year. He should be ready to go now. Very interesting dynamic I don't think it's being talked about between the Chicago Bulls medical staff and Lonzo Ball. We'll see what happens with that. And then, I feel like Levine should be the number 1 option in Chicago. That's it. It can't be DeRozan. DeRozan can't come here in the first year and be the number 1 option. You were there for 3 years. Can't happen. So he needs to take over. He needs to have a conversation with DeMar, like, yo, bro, let me see what I could do with the keys to the plane, and let's take us home. And I think he has to stay healthy. He dealt with some knee injuries last year towards the end. And I think the X factor for me on this team is Patrick Williams. We're high on him last year. We thought he was going to have a excellent, I think, second year, third year, because he does show some flashes of potential. If he could continue to work on his game and be a versatile Swiss Army knife type player for them, they could be good. But I just feel like Vucevic, they are going to have to trade Vucevic and try to get a better center, because he can't protect the rim. He's terrible in the pick and roll. He can't protect the rim. He's a good scorer. He can rebound, solid passer. His shooting is okay, but you don't want your center being your best 3-point shooter. When you got DeMar DeRozan taking mid ranges, Lonzo's a 3-and-D guy, but you don't want your center shooting threes. He needs to get in the trenches and get that money, man. So,
are you talking about Anthony Davis with the Lakers?
Man, like I said, PSA, if you 6'10" and up and you're getting under 5 rebounds, you don't deserve to be in the A.
Y'all remember where Roy Hibbert had 0-0 games with the Pacers? He was like 7-3.
That was one of the saddest performances I have ever seen. 7-1, and you don't get 1 rebound in 30 minutes. So you just out there running, bro?
He's conditioning. That's all it was.
Cardio.
But Nick, we kind of jumped the gun. I guess we went into two teams there with CJ with the Bulls and Milwaukee. So back up and let's hear your side or what's your take on with the Bulls and the Bucks together.
So I'm gonna go back to the Bucks because I definitely disagree with you, Michael, about being so high on Drew because I never felt like Drew was ever really that guy. Like, you know, he's definitely not the scorer that Chris Middleton could be. He's not the closer, especially after we saw in that game 3 against Boston. He shot like 11 to 30 in game 3, which is just abysmal. Like, first of all, Drew Holiday should never be taking that many damn shots to begin with, and then you shoot so like inefficiently, bro. Like it was absolutely insane. But I think Milwaukee's going to be in good territory this year. You know, having that loss last year, hoping to get some more offensive production from other guys because honestly, Giannis was really a one-man show for most of that second round series against Boston. They need more out of guys like Pat Connaughton, Grayson Allen. They do got Marjan. I can't remember how to pronounce his last name, but he's definitely going to be a good piece. Beauchamp. Yeah, he's definitely going to be a good piece for the second unit. So once Middleton comes back, I mean, it's going to be up and running. They still got one of the best rim protectors in the league in Brook Lopez and one of the best floor spacers. I think Serge Ibaka had just re-signed as well. So if they can use him, oh God, what's going on, CJ? Oh, we can't hear you.
Brook Lopez, he's all right, man, but he should be better than what he is, in my opinion.
I agree. But yeah, I mean, I think they just signed or just re-signed Serge Ibaka so they can possibly use him, use his minutes. I mean, depending on his health. So Milwaukee definitely has the better chance of running away with this division. I mean, they obviously have the better team, they have the better coach, and this would be another MVP year for Giannis, in my opinion, or another MVP caliber year for Giannis. I'm not going to say he's going to win the MVP. I'm not going to make that pick yet.
Yeah, I agree, bro. They need some help they need some more depth, definitely, because when they went up against Boston, even though Boston didn't have great depth, but I just feel like they could use another scorer off the bench. You know, that could drop 15 every once in a while. You never know. He could have one of those 15 to 18-point games. Like, oh, word, he had 15 tonight? Yeah, that's good. That's good. They're going to need him for the playoffs. You need a guy like that. Terrence Ross. It's a great pickup. If they could get a guy like Terrence Ross, a guy that can space the floor, slash, drop 30 if need be, could close for you, hit a big-time shot, that's a really good pickup. They need to start being Milwaukee. I know they got Giannis. They think he's happy. He's happy. Gotta stay aggressive if you're a small market team. You have to stay aggressive.
Gotta keep him happy.
You have to keep him exactly. You have to keep him happy, man.
Especially since they won one, or since he has won a championship.
You already got to the promised land. Yes.
Yeah. My thing with them, I don't know. I like the team. I think they're going to be great. I'm just always hesitant on them because their season stats always are better than I feel like when they get to the playoffs. Giannis is an open court kind of guy, going downhill, can attack off of a rebound, off of a miss, a steal, anything like that, and go with it. Excuse me. If you get in his way, he's just dunking on you. But we know when it gets kind of tournament time, playoff time, that comes more in a half-court offense. And, of course, they miss Chris Middleton quite a bit this playoffs. We know that. So I don't know how this injury is still lingering over during the offseason where he is going to be missing some time. I say this building up. I mean, I don't think they lose, or that I don't think they're under 50 wins again. Like, I'm going to say they're up probably around 55 by the end of the year. But I do think I worry about them when it comes to playoffs still. I just always will when it comes to Milwaukee. Just their scheme when it comes to playoffs, I worry about them a little bit. But they've got a ring, so they're good. But now going on to the Bulls.
No, I just want to say one last thing.
Yeah,
that's a fair point. I've been saying this for the longest time. I said Giannis needs to play a little bit more in the post. Listen, I know he could be. He's a really good slasher, and that's a good point that you made because in the playoffs, that's what Toronto did. That's what some of these other teams did prior to them going to the capturing that Larry O.B. They kind of dropped off, played some zone, kind of played man zone a little bit, kind of play close to him, make it seem like they're crowding him, and then get back to the shooters and close out. So he needs to be in the post a little bit more, be more dominant in the post. One dribble, it's on his head automatically all day. If he played like that, he would get 50 with ease, then they'd really have to collapse. And then he's already a phenomenal playmaker. Again, he's another guy that he should be getting 40-point triple doubles almost every night. Almost every night. The way he played, if he played in the post, Drew Holiday drop it down, one dribble. It's who's guarding that? Who's guarding that?
I mean,
who's gonna
really,
guard that? Nobody's guarding that. Because listen,
with him,
because when you coming down the court and you're dribbling, everybody knows what's gonna happen. When you're just running down the court with the ball, I'm just running down the court, and yeah, of course it's gonna work. You're 6'11", and you have that gift, and keep doing it, of course. But you need more. You need counter moves. You need counter moves to be successful. It's in every situation. If he added just a quick post game, and it's crazy, Budenholzer played with Duncan. I thought it'd be Coach Duncan. I thought it'd be a perfect dynamic. We still haven't seen it as much. But if he got in the post, Middleton drop, because again, that would kind of mask the lack of off the dribble mid range stuff that he doesn't do right now if he's working in the post. So they need to add that to his
career too.
Oh yeah, I think as he gets older, he'll definitely go to his back to the basket.
But why not work on that now though? Like why?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Still, and I'm not saying do it as their set offense, just a counter move. Just a counter move, because if you're in a post, you have to collapse. Then it's better spacing for the shooters. But if you're just driving down the court, I could just show and still get back to the shooter easily. I can still show a little bit as you're driving to give you an opportunity to react off of something. If you give it out to the shooter that you think is open, I'm gonna just close out and I'm gonna get it. But if you're in the post, you have to. The defense is literally their back is turned to whoever's they should be in front of, because they're looking at they're going crazy in the post. So you got different type of reads on the weak side. You could make your move. Nobody could guard you. I don't know what they're doing up there, man. I don't know what they're doing, man.
I mean, even if it's not even like I'll say a traditional post, like if it's on the block, back to the post, like it could even be a mid-range post with him. That way he could even still get it, we'll say at the elbow, top of the free throw line or somewhere in that range where you could turn around, triple threat that person, one jab, go the opposite way, one dribble, and just dunk on that person. If the weak guy helps from the corner, because that's where that weak guy is going to be on offense, you've got an easy kick out to that person in the corner for the three. I mean, it's a one dribble, one move, and Giannis can make that from the three-point line. Just bring it on in a little bit. Even if it's, I'm just kind of spitballing with you here. I'd almost like to see him come from the block almost in a unorthodox pick from I want to say a down screen
from a
with
guard.
him from a guard, but kind of rolling up. So he has this momentum where it's almost like he's manipulating a fast break where he gets the ball from the top of the key, coming downwind with the defense.
It's
almost
easy.
just something that you can change it up a little bit. Because again, like if he catches it top of the key for a hesitation there where he's got to create, you can back off of him a little bit. I mean, he is getting a little bit of a shot, but you can almost play mind games with him, cheat at him, like you're saying, show double team, and then almost make him create the error himself. So, I mean, there's definitely different ways that they could be manipulating this offense. And we're average Joes here that's coming out here as experts. Like, sign us up, Milwaukee. Like, look at this. We didn't even, plan anything. We have no notes. We just already gave you an offense there. Especially
It shows something to look at, but they just got to do it more.
Yeah. I wonder if you could do like an on-the-ball screen, like Drew Holiday comes down with the ball and almost does a little handoff to him and sets the pick. So if there's a switch, you have a guard on him anyways, and then it's basically going to be a dunk. If they don't switch, it's underneath where he should have the first step up with the ball and should be able to blow right by him anyways off of that little mid 10 to 15-foot pick and roll. I don't know. It's a
40-point triple doubles.
Man, we're going to start our own little AAU team. Nick, what are you bringing to the table?
Let's do it, man. CTB AAU squad.
I mean, y'all have basically said everything, man. I was just sitting back, observing. We're talking X's and O's.
Yeah.
Milwaukee.
Yeah, so we got it.
Milwaukee has no reason to not, take over the Central Division. They're clearly the best team in this division, in my opinion. They got the best player. So, like Michael said before, they'll probably go around 55-27 throughout the season, because I do feel like they'll probably sit Giannis for a few games. Obviously, Middleton's not starting out for the beginning of the year. So, like I said, Milwaukee has no reason to not take over the Central Division, and they're clearly the best team.
especially that division. Like, I feel leap and bounds over anyone in that division this year. I'm going to say this year. I'm going to be strong with that. Now, Nick, did you talk about the Bulls any? Because CJ, persuade him into.
Let's go into Chicago, man. The Lonzo injury sucks. And it really sucks for me because I'm really high on him. He's a great playmaker, really getting everybody involved, and he's one of the best on-ball defenders, in my opinion, in the NBA. They really, like CJ said, they really could have used him in the playoffs. And I was really excited when he signed with the Bulls last year because I'm like, we're going to get some playoff action from Lonzo. Mm-hmm. Oh, my God, man. And we still have not gotten that yet. Hopefully we can possibly get it this year. But Lonzo is really a liability because of his injuries. And it sucks because he's such a great player. He's such a great dynamic player, high basketball IQ, high athleticism, but he just can't stay on the floor. And I think that's really going to cost Chicago. Obviously, in my opinion, they will still find a way to make the playoffs just because he still got dynamic scores in Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan. And I definitely agree with you, CJ. Zach LaVine needs to be the number one option on this team. I get it. DeMar had an MVP caliber year last year, but he's definitely getting up there in age. And Zach LaVine is emerging, or he has been emerging over the past few years as an all-star caliber player. So, in my opinion, what they need to do is just really utilize Zach LaVine as the top scoring option for the team. And as for Vucevic, I love him. Great floor spacer, but liability on defense. You got to let him go. In my opinion, he's practically cooked on that end. I'm just gonna say it like it is. So Chicago is interesting because I have them around like the 7-8 slot in the East, because Amos funny, but
Amos hilarious.
Chicago is definitely one of the interesting teams because I don't really have them as far as a top 5 seed in the East. I kind of have them up there in the play-ins position. I don't know what it is that they need to do. They definitely need to get healthy, and they just need to move some pieces around in order to really, really be like a top contender in the conference.
Okay, I'm going to say this, and this may be my bad take, and I apologize. But I'm not. Oh, CJ's getting prepared for me on this. Like, okay, let's hear what he's got. Get nervous. I don't think Bulls can be anything with LaVine being the guy. LaVine has never done anything with any team being the guy. Is he a dunker? Is he a three-point shooter? Like, I feel like he almost is just a jack of all trades, but a master of none is defiant of him. And I might be a little strong on that. As I say it, I feel strong. I would rather see Ball be the number one option on that.
Lonzo Ball be the number one option?
I mean, think about
like
it.
Scoring?
Hang on with me. No. Not option-wise as scoring, but just the offensive leader of that team to set everyone up. You've got DeMar who can take anyone to the hole. You've got LaVine over there that can take them. I want to see Ball take this next step and say, hey, this is what we need to be doing. Let's set them up in the offense, and then let's get you in your right spots. Because me, again, Jason Kidd being my guy who I love, was the number one option without ever being the scorer. I want to see a Ball take that kind of role because the Nets had nobody. The Nets had nobody when he took them.
Jason Kidd did kind of develop into an elite scorer, though. I mean, I get it. In his early years, his jump shot was not there, but he definitely developed in it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, at least a decent score.
Good score. Good score. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good score.
Well, I mean, if
average around 20 plus a game.
Yeah, he got.
But to combat that, though, like they're in the NBA, they all are decent scorers.
Yeah, but Lonzo's not an offensive threat though. Like he's not looking to shoot. Like he'll probably take a minimum like 6 shots a game.
But to me,
that's bad.
To me, he needs to be averaging close to this triple-double, and he should be able to do that. Like to me, if the Bulls are going to have a chance next year, and that's why I kind of was earlier saying, like, could the Bulls possibly be the last place team in just this division here? Which there's still some bottom teams because this Bulls, other teams are making moves forward, and the Bulls kind of just stayed the same. And Ball's.
I will agree. The Bulls definitely did not upgrade this offseason. I definitely agree with that.
And y'all hate on Vucevic so much. but he's decent. They just need to help him in. Well,
not on defense. I'm sorry.
He's a good player.
He's a good player. He's a very good player. But if you're the center, you're the last man of the defense. You're the anchor. If you can't protect the rim,
and he doesn't need
level,
to be the 5. He's the 4, right? He should be a 4.
But even in today's game, you gotta. If you're a 4, you have to play defense because they'll still come out there and exploit you on pick and roll. Oh, he's the weak link. Pick and roll all day, every day. Luka, whoever Luka's guarding and got Kleber, pick and roll. What? Are you going to switch?
Gobert was put on the island too, who is multi-defense player of the year.
You know how I feel about Gobert.
Gobert was put on the island, but not. He wasn't in front of the island in terms of guarding somebody. They just put him in a section of the island where he can't succeed like he usually can.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
I'm with you there. Like they actually took away his actual good on defense. Right. Vucevic don't have any.
But you got to have a certain style to play like that. Now, listen, if they want to play 5 out, okay. Patrick Williams gonna have to shoot because I'm sagging off anybody that's guarding Patrick Williams. I'm sagging if I'm Patrick opponent. I'm sagging off automatically. If he can shoot, then we can play 5 out. Then now that's an offense. That's a good offense right there for them. They should do that.
Now here might be a big reach again. Has Dwight Howard signed with anyone yet?
I don't think so.
He's gonna find somewhere.
Yeah.
Could he be the Bulls 5 there?
That's a good.
He could.
That's a good spot for him.
So
I mean, I don't know if he's going to start. I don't know. I mean, listen, he's still athletic, but it's just obviously not the same. I mean, I don't even know if it's the same Lakers Dwight. Second stint Lakers Dwight. I don't know if we're getting that right now for Dwight. I mean, it's still a
purple hair Dwight.
Yeah, yes. Different color hair Dwight now. So it's like I don't know if we're getting this springy athleticism like we're accustomed to seeing back in the Orlando days. But yeah, it could be a good pickup. It could be in the right minutes.
So that's my bad take is I want to see LaMelo Ball take over this team. And
you mean Lonzo?
Lonzo Ball take over this team.
It's just tough for him to do that when he can't stay on the court.
I agree.
And also, again, I don't believe in Billy Donovan as a head coach. Probably a great guy. Salute to Billy. Probably a really good guy. I don't know. I'm just talking basketball. You feel me? I'm just talking hoops.
He's not good enough.
He's not good enough.
I gotta figure out why Michael is super high on Lonzo like this. I mean, look, I love Lonzo.
I'm not super high on him. I've been a team to have a chance. I think that needs to happen because Levine's not proved to lead anyone. I mean, he used to be a Timberwolves, and I mean, not really did much there.
So, well, here's the thing. I'm gonna read you some stats from his last 4 seasons. 2018-19, he averaged around 23 a game. 2019-2020 season, he averaged 25.5 a game. 2020-2021 season, he averaged 27.4 points. And this previous season, he averaged 24.5 points. So he's shown
he's a bad player. He can score, but I mean, he's not putting anyone over the promised land.
He's saying, is Levine a number 1 option on a championship team? No.
Because, I mean, we'd say the same like Donovan Mitchell with Utah. Like, I mean, that he wasn't enough.
Has DeRozan proven that either?
He's not. We saw it already. We saw it already in Toronto.
Yeah.
Right.
Like last year, Donovan Mitchell or DeRozan was MVP caliber for a while, and they still, I mean, they were good for a while, but so neither one of those 2 guys, I don't think, can be the leader.
Nah, and I want to say, I said no for Levine, not yet. Let's see. Those are the right words. Those are the right words I'm gonna use for that. I'm not gonna say definitively no, but as we've seen right now, it's a very fair point by Michael. We haven't seen him be like Luka out the gate. Get your team to the playoffs first 3 years of your career.
How old is Levine? Because I feel like
but I know Luka's 1-on-1, but
Levine's like 25, I think. 25.
25. Okay. Yeah, he's still young. Yeah.
He's still young. So I'm putting him a little bit older, and I'll say that's probably my bad take on that, at least that part. I feel like he's been in the league for 15 years, it seems like it. Yeah, but so I mean, he's still developed. If he's 25, I mean, technically he would be 2 years out of college if he went for the 4 years. So I mean, Levine's still learning. I mean, his body's still, not to sound weird on that, but it's still developing and learning everything as far as that. So I mean, Levine could. I'll use the word. I'm with you on there. Not yet. So maybe Ball can take some of that away from him and help him be able to be the man, be the Uno.
No, I hope so. It's just for me. It's like he just can't stay on the court. It's so sad. I agree. I love it. He's a talented player. I love his style of play. It's something that's rare in today's NBA. You would think there'd be more of it because of the type of spacing. In terms of having that Pierre type point guard, it's only but a select few. He's in that class, but he's got to stay on the court. Prayers up.
Yep.
Prayers up. All right, so let's go on to. I'm going to skip a team. Sorry. We're going to go down to this team. Let's just go ahead and get it out of the way because you know what? There's just really not too much that I can think of to really say about the Indiana Pacers. 25-57. I mean, they made a good trade mid-season last year. Nick, you want to
really good trade? Really good trade.
Yeah, you want to talk on that?
Tyrese Halliburton is a really good trade.
Yeah, Buddy Hield.
So he's not gonna be that long.
Poor Buddy Hield. I mean,
it's a good piece though. It's a good piece to move.
It is
compensation. Yes. So
Hield has probably been traded more than some players have actually played in a game in the NBA.
Yeah. Obviously, Sacramento. I mean, what was he? New Orleans first, and then right.
Yeah. But then he got traded to Sacramento in that Boogie Cousins trade.
His next stop will be a good team. Finally.
Lakers
next
from the back.
Yeah.
His next stop, I promise you, will be a good team. He's been on the Kings, the Pelicans, and the Pacers. His next stop.
Hey, you know what could use him? Miami.
Sure. Definitely.
I mean, really, anybody could use him. Any of the competitors. Especially Gallon going out. Boston could possibly use him too. But what do you think of the Pacers as far as this year, Nick? We'll start with you on this.
I mean, it's not really much to say. I mean, the Pacers are clearly in rebuild mode. We saw what happened last year. They traded away Sabonis, Karis LeVert, and a good amount of the other players. Surprisingly, Myles Turner is still part of this team, so I don't know if he's going to be on the trade market throughout this year. I definitely feel like some teams could definitely use his rim. Well, Chicago could possibly use him for rim protection and everything. So, So, in my opinion, he probably won't be that long. We'll definitely see, what goes on with that. But I mean, the main priority for the Pacers should just really build around Tyrese Halliburton. He's a young, dynamic point guard that's on the rise. He's around 22 years old or something like that. So that should really be the main focus, man. I mean, just to continue to build around Halliburton. They got guys like Benedict Mathurin. I'm really excited to see what he can bring this year for the Pacers and the other guys as well. So it's really just a rebuild year. I mean, I don't think people should really expect much out of this team this year.
Yeah, development, creating good habits, steps to making the right identity of a team because you have a young team. A lot of those foundational type mindset and things you need to bring to the team when you have a young team. I think you have a guy like Rick Carlisle, who's an experienced head coach, who's been through a lot of situations, high-pressure playoff moments. He's dealt with star players in Luka Doncic and Dirk Nowitzki during his coaching career, so he understands that dynamic, was a former player, was playing with Larry Bird, so he knows all the intricacies of the game. So you have a guy like that as a head coach for a young team, I think is a great situation for the Pacers. I agree with Nick. Tyrese Halliburton is a guy you definitely have to build around. That's why you made the move and moved Sabonis to Sacramento. You want a guard. Having a point guard in the Eastern Conference is very quintessential in having success. Obviously, any team, but in the East is very necessary. And we'll see who's going to be. We'll see who becomes the top guard. But I think it'll be Matt. I think Mathurin and Dorte could be a really interesting combination at the wing. Again, like I said, Buddy Hield, he won't be there. He won't be there for long. He will be moved to a better situation where we'll see if he could flourish on a contending type team, because right now he's put up some really good numbers, but on bad teams. So we'll see if he could put up good numbers on great teams, which maybe could potentially make him a champion. But for the Pacers, moving Myles Turner, the same thing. They just want compensation. They want picks. They want to stack up picks. They're 1,000% in the Wembanyama sweepstakes. So, listen, like not, they're not going to win a bunch of games, but I just want to see how they play, and I'm interested to see some of those young players that they have. And you cannot sleep on these teams. I know, like, look at the schedule. Oh, it's the Pacers tonight. We should blow them out by 30. They're coming out, with all the energy in the world. Now you look at halftime, you're down 20, and now you got to be perfect and claw back. So, Pacers, young. I like their talent. They have a young player that could be a star down the road. I think they need another Paul George. Is it Mathurin? We will see. It wasn't Sabonis. Sabonis is really good, but he's not Paul George. And that's why they couldn't get as far as they wanted to go. Oladipo, really good. Not Paul George. So, not Reggie Miller. So until they get that again, or Ron Artest, until they get those guys, those type
not
of guys.
Not even Danny Granger.
Danny Granger was good, man.
Danny
Granger was good. He was a bucket.
What's it?
Was
David
nice.
West then too, right?
David West, 0 rebound Hibbert. Yeah, they had a good roster. He said I'd do that in there. they had a good roster, but yeah, that's what they need. So is it Mathurin? Question mark. Is it Halliburton? Question mark. I think it's going to have to be one more piece in the draft. Could it be Wembanyama? It doesn't need to be Scoot Henderson. They don't need a guard. Maybe one of the twins. We'll see.
I ain't gonna lie. If they get Wembanyama,
Woo!
Pace is making the play next year. I'm sorry.
If they get Wembanyama, I'm not talking about nothing in the East for the Knicks, bro. I'm chilling, man. I'm just like, you know what? I'm gonna just enjoy basketball because if they get Wembanyama, he becomes, who we expect him to become. What are we talking? Like, what are we talking? Him and Giannis for the next 5 to 7? Are you kidding
God.
me? Paolo Banchero?
Listen,
What? Oh my gosh. Great basketball. Great basketball's ahead, man.
Not that I'm trying to get her show canceled here or anything, but do you think the NBA would let a player like that go to Indiana?
Yeah, of course.
Why not?
The small market is perfect. It's like Tim Duncan on the Spurs, situational wise. Not comparing.
Oh wow!
him to
Do you
Tim
think the
Duncan.
Spurs are the small market?
I mean, they're not Dallas.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess so. I never would have.
They're not Dallas or Houston.
We just look at
You're
them
right.
as bigger because they won the championships.
Right? Yeah.
Right. That's it. But they're still a small market.
Send them to Charlotte. Come on, we want them in Charlotte.
Send them to Charlotte. I mean, woo, that would be crazy.
Maybe LaMelo?
Oh, my
Yeah.
God.
Oh, that fast break is gonna be nasty.
Pick and pop, pick and roll. What?
Picking whatever you want to do.
That would be. Send him to Charlotte. Yeah, I'm with that too. I'm with everything. Man, but if he goes to the Pacers, him and Halliburton is just as lit. That's just as lit as LaMelo and Wembanyama too. It's just as lit. Halliburton's nice.
Listen, this division has a nice future.
It's gritty. Yeah, it's a gritty type division. You got these small market type cities in here. Indiana, Milwaukee. Chicago is not. It's a big market, but their mindset, great.
Since we're on the Pacers, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Since we're on the Pacers, I'm assuming we're going to go to this next team.
That's where I was transitioning. That's where I was going to with that bright future.
We definitely get into this team here because this is my team right here, man. In my opinion, this team is 1 year away. I don't think they'll make a lot of noise this year, but give them some more experience, give them some time to really develop. The Detroit Pistons will be in the 2024 play-in. You'll hear it right here. They will be in the play-in at least. Kay Cunningham last year, Rookie of the Year candidate.
That cup looks nice. Just saying.
Kay Cunningham.
It's pretty good, man. This is pretty good.
Good.
Kay Cunningham, yeah.
Where's that? Oh yeah. Kay Cunningham. We got off track for a second. Kay Cunningham was a Rookie of the Year candidate last year, which people are so stupid, man. I swear, because like last year in his first game, I think he shot like 32% or something like that. Everybody was calling him a bust. And I'm like, bro, please. Like, come on, y'all. Like, please. Now all of a sudden he's almost everyone's favorite rookie. It's insane. But yes, Kay Cunningham, who is on the rise. Now, I am interested to see what will be the future for Killian Hayes with that team. Is he going to be a second unit point guard for that team, or are they going to be looking to move him? I don't know. That's still up in the air. Get him out of there. That's definitely still up in the air for the team. But also you got guys like Sadiq Bey, who had a 50-point game last year. Great dynamic scorer. I think he's really underrated in my opinion.
I do too.
Isaiah Stewart, minus the whole temper situation with LeBron, great player. What is it?
From New Yorker, man.
Oh yeah, he is.
Rochester, New York. Isaiah Stewart. Yes, sir.
But then on top of that, they got a guy like
obviously Jaden Ivey, and then they got a guy like Jalen
I was
Duren
waiting
as
for
well.
you. Yeah, I was waiting for you
Yeah.
to get the Ivy. I was like,
Oh yeah, Jaden Ivey's
That's
gonna be a
probably
nice
what we were
piece.
all high on during the draft.
Yeah. Oh yeah, 100%. Jaden Ivey was Jaden Ivey is definitely gonna be a great compliment, in my opinion, next to guys like Cade and Sadiq Bey. And then you got a guy like Jalen Duren as well, who I don't know if many people paid attention to him at Memphis, but he was definitely a monster, especially running the pick and roll and being able to be a great rim protector. So he's gonna be great for them. Now, is Kemba Walker still technically on the roster? I don't.
Yes, I'm actually looking at it right now at ESPN.com. He is on the roster.
Now, I'm kind of surprised he's still there. I don't know if they're going to use him. They're probably not going to use him because I don't think there's really no use for Kemba at this point. It's sad at the end of the day, but at this point it is what it is. Same thing with a guy like Nerlens Noel. I don't know. I mean, I guess he could be a great veteran presence for that team. Being a good rim protector. Ooh, they just traded for Bogdanovich from Utah. That's going to be a great addition as well. So
I forgot Marvin Bagley III too.
Oh yeah, I forgot about him.
Well for them in the second half of the season. After that trade, I just think he needed to get. Yeah, go ahead. My bad.
Oh no. I mean, you definitely hit the point right there. I mean, Bagley. It's definitely good to see Bagley, playing well because he's definitely got a lot of slack over the past few years, especially in Sacramento. So I guess being in Detroit is a perfect fit. And then on top of that, to put the cherry on the top, you got Dwayne Casey as your head coach, who has shown, to be a great coach, definitely led the Raptors to a lot of playoff success. So, like I said, this team is just 1 year away, in my opinion. I think this year is going to be a lot of experimenting, really getting a lot of gaining more development. And of course, having an experience of competing at the highest level. But next year, I think they'll be off to the races.
And listen, I'm even on, like I said, ESPN, looking at the salaries and stuff. I mean, Marvin's making 12.5. He's making Bogdanovich is making 19 mil. Everyone else is 10 million or below, and by that there's only 2 in 10 million. That's Alec Burks and Cade Cunningham.
Oh man, I forgot about Alec Burks.
Yeah, so I mean, everyone on this team is cheap too. So I mean, they're young. I mean, there's Kevin Knox who didn't pan out, who possibly you could say, hey, come here, let's have a fresh start, try to see if we can develop you now.
Find a role.
Yeah, see here. Jalen Duren. Why do I know that name?
He's from Memphis.
Memphis.
Alongside Imani Bates and those guys.
Yes.
So this team, I'm going to use the word that, again, my coach in high school hated to say because it meant you wasn't nothing yet, but it has potential, which means you're nothing yet. But, yeah, there's tons of potential. But here's the thing, looking at the lineup, and, again, we've said this, 23 and 59 last year, they probably will be better than that this year. But I think the more we know about this team is going to be from practices, who is going to be the alpha that steps up and say, hey, this is how we're going to do this stuff. Who's going to be the leaders? What young group of these guys are the Bay? Are we going to have Stewart chasing LeBron? That kind of attitude with these younger guys. Hey, the dog mentality, which I hate to even say. But we've got to see how this team molds into mentally and physically as they move forward. But, yeah, this Pistons team are 1 or 2 years a step away from being a powerhouse, I'll even say, or I'm going to use this word a little lot, but dynasty possibly.
Whoa, big terms you're using right now.
I mean, there's a chance. There's a chance.
I'm just trolling with you, bro. I'm just trolling. I agree. I agree with.
How about I go this route? I'm telling you, I think y'all are going to be very surprised when I say it. I say this in 5 years. I say the Pistons will be better than the Pelicans.
In 5 years?
In at least 5 years.
What they just signed CJ for 5 years? Was it 5 years?
I think it was an extended 2 years, I believe. Which, I mean, CJ is getting up there in age, though. So it's I don't even know if he'll even still be a part of the roster.
That could be possible. Could be possible. I could see that.
Zion may not even be a Pelican in 5 years. Wait, he just signed 5 years, didn't he?
I don't mean
Yeah, that's okay.
No,
If you're a Piston fan right now, you have to be very
You're
excited.
happy.
Yes, you have to be very excited if you're a Detroit Piston fan right now. They've been through some dog years. They've been through some down years over these last days. They tried to do the Blake Drummond thing, just didn't work out. Both of those guys was a bad match. 2 inside bigs, one can't space the floor. Bad math. So then they were losing some games. They were losing games, and now things are starting because I'm happy for the Pistons because honestly I'm a big fan of those Pistons teams back in the day with the Larry Brown. Pistons have a better chance of the 2032 playoffs than this in the next 3 seasons. I would really advise you, bro, do your homework on the Detroit Pistons.
Yeah.
Bro. They have some nice young players. Again, like Nick talked about, he really broke it down, did a great job, bro. And Cade Cunningham is a start. It's a start. I think before we start talking about dynastic and things like that, first they have to establish who's the guy. I think we all can assume it's going to be Cade, right? Who's the next guy? I think the next guy is Ivy.
I agree. I agree.
Okay,
100%.
Okay. We're on the same page.
Can you just say it like that again, though? Who do you think it is again?
I think the next guy for the Pistons' second option is Ivy.
Okay. Well, you said a little different, but okay.
So different. Hey, I mean, listen.
CJ's come with some personality on this show, guys. I'm just telling you, y'all.
We gotta bring it. We gotta bring it. But yeah, and then Bay, right? And then and honestly, it could become a great situation from there on because you could go Marvin Bagley the third. Honestly, you bringing in Bogdanovich, you're trying to win now.
Yeah,
that's how I see it. I feel like they think they could get to the play-in this year. That's what they think. When you bring in a guy like Bogdanovich, who's been to the playoffs on the Pacers, on the Jazz these last few seasons, we're like they're looking Troy Weaver. Those guys, they're like, okay, we could get there now. We could be present and future greatness today. And again, like I said, if you're a Piston fan right now, and like Michael made a great point, all those guys are on small contracts. You're not paying an absurd amount of money for them right now. And even when that situation presents itself, and if they do live up to the expectations that we're bringing them right now, all of those guys deserve every penny. You better go over the luxury tax and pay every single one of those guys because they deserve it. If you bring something like that to Detroit again, so that's just a factor. That's just a factor, bro. So I think that's the hierarchy right there for the Pistons in terms of scoring and importance. And I'm excited for this team. I'm excited to watch them. They have some really quality players, Alec Burks and Nerlens Noel. Now they're not the 4th, 5th guy on a Knicks team. They're 7, 8 who could drop in 10, 12, block a shot in a high pressure situation because they've been there. You're not asking them to do as much. It's a different scenario. What's up, bro?
No, I'm just thinking, man. These rotations, this team's deep. Yeah. The team is deep, yo. Like I'm
saying. They're ready to go right now.
Because, like,
you're away.
But that's the thing, because most teams, like, your rotation is like minimum 8 guys. So it's like, but the Pistons have way more than that. So it's like there's a lot of guys that may not get minutes. A lot. It's crazy.
I made a point about Killian Hayes, brother.
Yeah.
Might be clip. I mean, it might be clip for him on the Pistons. No, I'm saying he can't get his
chance
somewhere else. But when you bring in Ivy, I'm pretty much saying, bro, you know what? But listen, if I'm him, I'm locking in on my role. That's going to keep you in the NBA. Oh, man, they drafted me 7th in 2020. I was supposed to be the starting point guard. I was supposed to be the guy for the Pistons. It was supposed to be me and Cade. We were supposed to be the big two. Now I'm on the bench. Nah, you know what? Let me lock in my role. You don't know what can happen down the road. Oh, yeah,
right.
He's only 21. Oh, man. Look
and that's the thing, though, because Killian is really talented, though. Like, you know what I'm saying? We're not going to take anything away from his game. So, like, this situation now in Detroit, he could possibly, in the future, land a starting role for another team. So you just never know.
I'm trying to look here. Exactly. I think Bog has one more year on his contract, too. I think, if I'm reading that right. I think he's through 2023. So it would be this year and next year I think he has on that contract. I could be reading it wrong.
You said that's for
Bogdanovich. I think
Bogdanovich.
Because, you were talking about let's win now. I'm pretty sure it's this year and next year, which would make sense to me to get him for 2 years if you were to do it.
They are ready to go. I'm telling you,
Yeah.
bro. I think
And that's
they
a
look
good
at their
pickup,
team
too, because that's leadership, too.
And where,
All right, so,
where
like-
did Troy Weaver come from? OKC. And
Yeah.
you saw how they drafted
Mhm.
KD, Westbrook, Harden, Ibaka, all those guys that we talk about. So he knows what he's doing, and I think if Cade's hitting on all cylinders, Ivy, just had Bay drop 50 in a
Yo.
game. Could get scary.
So let's get into Bay, because this is interesting, because I mean we're both on the same page here. Cade's going to be your number one option, and then of course it's going to be Jaden Ivey. Those guys are definitely talented enough to be able to lead you, in my opinion. So where does that leave Sadiq Bey? Because even last year, I mean, in my opinion, he's more of a spot up shooter. Not saying that he can't create his own shot, but I feel like that's really like, his primary thing. Yeah, so that's what I was going to ask you though. Like, obviously his role is not going to be what it was a year ago. So would that possibly, change the dynamic of the offense? Like, what do you think?
He's going to be a hybrid 3-and-D wing. So yeah, he could be your spot up like you're talking about, but in certain situations, say if somebody's out, say if somebody's in foul trouble, he could be that shot creator on top of being a spot up.
Facts.
Like a Middleton type. He reminds me of a younger version of Chris Middleton. I definitely see those comparisons. 6'8", can defend, but his primary goal should be, yes, knocking down shots, but taking away the opposing team's best player defensively if he's asked for that task.
Who's
And,
Golden State Golden State's All-Star this year? Cannot think of it.
Andrew Wiggins. He could be
Andrew
just
Wiggins?
like that.
Okay, yeah,
He could be Wiggins, and that's the thing with this lineup too. From point guard to center, 6'5" and up, versatility. We could switch on everything. Who does that remind you of? The Celtics.
That's a fact. Oh my god, I can't wait for this season, dog. I'm so
Very
ready.
tight team. They could be scary. I'm telling you, they have the potential. You got 6'6" in Cade, 6'5" in Ivy, Bay 6'8", Marvin Bagley 6'9", 6'10", Bogdanovich is 6'8", Isaiah Stewart is 6'9", Duran, Noel, all those guys are 6'11" and up. Man, I'm really happy for Dwayne Casey, man. He went through it and struggled for those first couple years with Drummond and Blake, and they held it down for him, and they stayed in that Pistons owner, they held it down and stayed loyal and told him, yo, bro, you're gonna be here with us. You're gonna lose, and we're gonna keep you when you lose. We're not gonna fire you when we have a potential of getting a really nice young team. And they're keeping him right now, and I think that's gonna be a good spot for them, bro. So I'm happy for Dwayne Casey too. That man got fired after winning Coach of the Year. Now we could start to see if he could kind of reap some of this sows of his benefits and try to get back in this second chance at being a head coach of a really exciting young team.
Absolutely. Shout out real quick as I've got the salaries pulled up for the Pistons. Shout out to our guy Aaron Washington with no trade clause. This is his
Shout out to
website
Aaron.
here.
Shout out Aaron,
So,
yes, sir.
So yes, it does show that Bogdanovich does have 2 years left. Actually, I've got it on my TV as well. I'm trying to see this bigger. Let me blow this up a little bit. So just kind of give a more perspective of what everyone's owed. So yes, Bogdanovich will hit quite a bit more next year, the $29 million, which is crazy. But again, Marvin Bagley the third, $12 million. Of course, Cunningham is then up to $11 million. Burks is $10 million if he's still on this team by then. I don't know, because that would, to me, would be a trade person that if you need someone that's looking for vet that you could get picks that you could move around, that would be a person that you could say bye-bye. Even Noel at 9, I'm going to say $10 million there. That's another person that you don't care to cut. Ivy at $7 million for the next, well, of course, all the way up to $30 million down there. That's crazy. But who is probably going to be the Batman of this team by the time it's done with. I mean, look, you even got Bay for $5 million next year, $3 million this year. We're talking about he being like an Andrew Wiggins types player. You've got him for the next 3 years. Everyone on this team is here. Is there anyone that is done at the end of this year? Got to switch over to my screens here.
Done. Probably Killian. Killian may be traded out. You never know.
I'm saying as far as contracts. So everyone is
okay.
has another year. So everyone that they have on, they're building for this next year's pick too. So, we're talking about it's going to be whoever they get building on with this. This is going to be a building year for them that they say, hey, guys, we don't care about our record. Look who we have here. This is what we're building for next year. They're in a great spot.
Wait, so you don't think they're going to – I think they could – I mean, I don't –
No. I think they're going to be good this year. I'm just saying, like, even if they don't pan out to being something, you are still pushing for next year on this.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. Like, they're like Cunningham, I think, is going to be – I mean, he's already good. He's going to be an all-star probably for this team this year. You're going to have Ivy, who possibly could be – y'all think he has a chance at Rookie of the Year?
Sure.
He has a chance, yeah.
Say they
I
have
agree.
a Cleveland type of season, Cavs type season that they had last year.
I'm just going to say, guys,
I like
with
Ventura.
adding Bogdanovich on here with Cunningham, Bay, I like Isaiah Stewart, just his personality, his toughness. I'm not saying that he's going to be a ball or anything. I just like him as a player on there. Anyone that will bust through a line like
Still can ball.
Like
Still can ball out too, though.
I mean, that was 4 right there. I mean,
he could ball. He could space the floor now too. He could shoot. He's smart, man.
There's a lot of trade packages on this team as well.
Yeah. But Burks, Noel could get flipped easily.
Diallo even.
Killian Hayes could be moved too, for sure.
Yeah.
He's a young player. We see potential. Somebody might want to pick him up down the road. Diallo, shout out Diallo, Queens, New York, get the money, man.
You mean Kentucky?
Yes, Kentucky. New
York is taking over Detroit, man.
Yeah, we got some calm hoopers, bro, in the A, bro. Silent. Not as much as not as much as the LA guys. They definitely taken over this last couple of years, but we got some hoopers.
Okay, so as we have trust the process.
I believe in that process. They have the right people in place to make that process move very quickly.
Now, speaking of processes and other teams that have kind of trusted so far and had to tweak it a little bit, let's go ahead and transition on over to our next team, the Cavaliers, Cleveland, that is, 44-38 of last year. I mean, you all have got me on probably more fired up for this division than I thought I really would be. Before we even got on here, I told Nick, I said, I haven't even prepared anything really for this division. I look at the teams, I was just like, whatever. But now that we've kind of dissected a little bit, I'm fired up for this right here because, the Cavaliers got my guy, Donovan Mitchell. Go ahead. I've got his card right here. I've got to flash it. Woo.
Okay.
Finally got that rookie card. And I think they have made leaps and bounds from what they did last year as far as personnel, stepping up, being great players, moving up from Amber calling them being a play-in tournament team. Now this, moving forward, I think that moves them up. We've all discussed this during the trade. Probably their ceiling is a 5. I think Nick maybe put them up as a 4.
I did say 4, but I'm gonna go to 5.
Oh, okay. It's fine. It's okay. But this is a great team, and I mean, CJ, I think we'll start with Nick last time, so we'll start with you. What's your predictions for this team? What do you think is going to go on with them?
Yeah, I'm excited for the Cavaliers as well. Obviously, aggressive Kobe Altman, Dan Gilbert, understanding that the market that they're in, and getting a grasp on the simple fact that, yes, we're a small market, but that doesn't mean we have to have the mindset of a small market. Let's be aggressive. Let's go get some star players to complement the young players that we have and try to create something great, try to create something special, and we'll see what happens down the road. And that's exactly what they did. They were kind of under the radar in the Donovan Mitchell sweepstakes. No one expected the Cavs to even be in the mix. But those guys, their staff, their front office staff, the people that do their homework and cap and things like that, they were grinding, they were putting that work in, and they pulled the trigger and they were successful. You got to give them a lot of credit to be able to get a guy, a 26-year-old 3-time All-Star that scored 57 in the playoffs before. So that's definitely a big-time addition to this Cleveland Cavalier team. I'm a fan of Darius Garland, excellent young player, point guard, went to the All-Star game his first time being healthy. I'm excited for him. And Evan Mobley as well. He's going to make that next step. I feel like the hierarchy right now is it should be Donovan. It won't be Donovan right away because he still has to establish himself as the leader on the team because he's the new guy. But they will see eventually that he's excellent. And it will be Donovan, Darius, Mobley, and then everybody else will, Love, Osman, Levert. They have some depth as well. That's very underrated that a lot of people are not talking about. They have some really solid guys, even though they lost some guys. We got, again, no trade clause. Shout out no trade clause with this great graphic that we're looking right here from the Cleveland Cavaliers is for our listeners. We're looking at some of the salary cap, the money and the situations for the Cavs and what's in store for them next season. Yeah, again, a really young team. Caris LeVert, he could be in the starting lineup. He could be in the backup as a six-man closing lineup type of player for the Cleveland Cavaliers. Ricky Rubio, high playmaker, can make great plays. He's an elder statesman now, so he could definitely teach some things to Darius Garland that they were kind of figuring out earlier in the season before he unfortunately tore his ACL. Prayers up to him. Kevin Love, a champion, bringing that championship identity, that championship mindset to a young team like this. They saw him. Everybody saw that 2016 finals. They saw the stops that he made on Stephen Curry, even though they were up 4. All you got to do is not foul, keep your hands, be good, be close, and be able to make those plays. And that's exactly what he did. Everybody watched that. They were young. A lot of the players on his team that are his teammates are probably like 16, 15 years old. And they watched that and in order for them to love the game. And he made those type of plays. So they trust Kevin Love. And in those situations, I think that's a big time addition to this type of team. And yeah, man. And again, I'm a fan of JB Bickerstaff and what he's done so far early in his coaching career. He's done a great job, and I think he's going to continue to grow and be an excellent head coach. I like that 3-2 style that they ran last year with Marketing, Mobley, and Jared Allen. They were winning a lot of games. They had the Knicks in all types of trouble, but then again, that's every team. When it comes against the Knicks are always in trouble against the team. It doesn't matter. But yeah, they did a great job last year, and I think, again, bringing in Donovan Mitchell, that now the expectations is playoffs, not play-in, playoffs. That should be the mindset for the Cavs this year. Okay, yeah, play-in, that was cute, that was nice, but we're a playoff team now. We got 45 in the battlefield with us. Let's get it rocking.
Listen, for a second there, I thought you was about to do a speech and we was about ready to go to war.
Nah, man.
I felt the intense building up, and I was right there with you, play by play in it. I was pumped. Nick, were you feeling it too, or was it just me?
I felt it. I definitely felt it.
Okay, so Nick, what do you got with this Cavaliers team?
This team is going to be good. This team is definitely going to be good.
That's it. That's all we needed.
I'm loving this, man. JB Bickerstaff is a phenomenal coach. For people who did not pay attention last year, y'all definitely need to pay attention this year because he's definitely going to, in my opinion, emerge as probably a coach of the year candidate just because that's how much I do believe in Cleveland. This is going to be really interesting this year. I feel like Darius Garland's going to definitely take another step ahead. This year, in my opinion, he had a most improved this past season, he had a most improved caliber season, really showing his versatility as far as scoring and playmaking. So I definitely think that he'll take a big leap. And then of course, you got D Mitch, who brings that veteran presence, and then of course is another added score to that team. Mobley, in my opinion, who will take another leap as well. I think Mobley can average at least around 17, 18 a game, and then of course, around 10 rebounds as well, 10, 11 rebounds. So I definitely feel like Mobley could be an all-star this year. I don't know if it could happen, but I feel like he could definitely be a caliber as far as, being in that being on that all-star team. And then, of course, you got a guy like Jared Allen as well, who is a great rim protector. But man, Cleveland's depth, their second unit is going to be a problem, especially once Ricky Rubio comes back, because arguably Ricky Rubio probably had his best season last year before getting hurt. That's just my opinion. I know people may have different opinions on that, but Rubio was playing lights out last year before he ended up getting hurt, which sucked for Cleveland.
He definitely was playing well, for sure.
Yes. So once he comes back and he's able to be that initiator for the second unit, and then of course you got guys like Caris LeVert, Kevin Lowe, who's a great floor spacer. So when you look at the whole dynamic of their starting unit, which I mean, it's still questions up in the air as far as who's going to start at the 3-man position. Is it going to be Cedi Osman? Is it going to be Isaac Okoro? We still don't know yet. That's up to JB Bickerstaff. But just looking at the starting unit and then the second unit, like this team is really deep. They may not be as deep as a Detroit team, but this team got some great assets on the bench.
Yeah, listen, I just
excuse me.
I'm just very happy. No, you're good, bro. I'm just very happy that the East they're picking it up as a conference. They're picking it up, man. We're talking about, some of these teams a couple years ago. We're like, this team, oh my God, you're kidding me? They're gonna be terrible. Ain't nobody's gonna watch this. But now you're like, oh, Cavs, what? Look at this. Look what they got. They got Donovan Mitchell, for 2-3 years. Then we just talked about the Pistons. Listen, man, this game, right? This game could really change teams. You get the right player in there, it could change the complexity of the entire franchise. Same thing with the NFL, like a quarterback. Patrick Mahomes going to Kansas City. You get Kansas City, getting a guy like Patrick Mahomes and transforming that entire region. You're kidding me? And what I'm saying? LeBron doing the same thing in Cleveland, bringing so much, economic boost to people making LeBron shirts and hats and all those type of things. People forget about those type of things, man. So I think the East, they're doing a great job of now looking very competitive, and they're continuing to, bring some parity. And I think it's going to make for great basketball. A lot of these teams that weren't good in years past are starting to get some really nice young players and can be the future of the league. And some of these teams that we laugh at could be some of the premier teams in 3 to 4 years.
Well, just kind of going to piggyback with that right there. What kind of point I was wanting to get into is, you just said Mitchell for 3 years, but they got him to 26, 27 right here. So, I mean, they've got it for 5 years. Everyone on basically who is going to be the core of this future is at least here for 4 years. We've got Jarrett Allen, it looks like, from 26, 27 year. Garland's all the way out to 28, 29. Who else were we talking about? Mobley is 25, 26, I think.
Yeah, he'll get that rookie max.
And then, of course, you got Rubio that far. Now I'm reaching there, but I think Rubio is going to be more of a coach player here during this time, but I think he's going to be very valuable. And again, like Nick said, like he was playing great too. So, I mean, what I'd like to see is Kevin Love, maybe not this year, but next year, rework his contract for that $42 million. Maybe say, hey, let me
checks, brethren.
Yeah, I mean, what's crazy to look at that, because Kevin Love is going to make $42 million next year, and then you got Rubio that's going to be making $6 million next year. That's crazy to me. I'd like to maybe see him say, hey, guys, I see what you guys have here in this young core. I see LeVert has only got 2 more years on his contract. I see your guys, keeping this core together. Let me renegotiate this, take a little bit of a cut, extend me out for a few more years with this great duo that we have, or this core we have. Give me 3 more years, take this out, spread it out, and let's get some other veterans or role players that we need to sign in with that extra money. And because to me personally, Kevin Love will always have that ring with him that was never meant with him without LeBron. And I think that would be something good for him of just his career alone, to say that he stayed in Cleveland and got that ring to come back. Now, granted, he's not the man that helped lead it, but I think that would be very big for him to say, you know what, you had Kyrie here, you had LeBron and me. They left you. I stayed here. Now let me open up my Subway sandwich meat here, and y'all come and eat my sandwich after I retire. I think it'd be great for him.
Yeah, that'd be
Where
a great.
would you get that from?
I don't know, man.
That'd be a great story. That'd be a great
Absolutely.
story for him. That'd be a great story for him. That's a great basketball story.
That'd be a 30 for 30, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, going from Minnesota to Cleveland, and then just finishing the rest of your career in Cleveland, helping them win another championship. If that was to ever present itself down the road. Now, I understand both perspectives of what you're talking about in terms of the money and distributing the money, because as a player, you obviously want to maximize on every dollar possible, because again, you could get hurt in a split second and lose it all. So you definitely want to keep that bag for as long as possible. So, but I also understand your perspective, and this is what I'm saying. These owners go over the luxury tax. You're billionaires. Stop asking all of these players. Oh, take a haircut here. If you
want to win, you better go above that.
Let's rework our deal. Let's rework our deal so you get this on the back end, and then maybe if you incentivize something and knock down 100 threes, maybe we'll give you the extra something. No, go over the luxury tax. If you want to win, make it happen. Make it happen, man. You had to take a risk to become a billionaire, so take a risk owning the team. What? Like, that's just common sense, right? Crazy. But yeah, listen.
If you want to win,
42 mil as a 6-man, keep getting those checks.
I mean,
that's crazy.
Is he worth that though?
I mean, listen. I mean, that's.
And it jumps. It almost doubles what he makes this year. 28 billion.
Shout out his agent. I think. I don't know if his agent could be Rich Paul, maybe. But if it is,
I mean, hell, he's been there for what, like going on almost 10 years. So why not?
It's crazy, right? Yo,
yeah,
he's almost been there for 10 years, bro.
Like, I think you're right. Yeah,
that's
like I think this year will be 9 years.
2014. Crazy. Yeah, that's crazy.
I'm just trying to think
for almost a decade.
Like, how did they make that contract? Because, I mean, obviously, as we look at these contracts, you can see that, okay, yeah, we think you're going to keep getting better, so we're going to give you money as your years go on. But, like, he's in year 13 now, so whenever they made that contract, like, did they think year 14 to 15, like, 15, he's going to be $10 million more worthy?
Like, well, yeah, I mean, right, you're right. Yeah, he got the deal when I think he was 29. So 29 or 30. Or turning 30, so he got the full year over 110, and then obviously was bonuses and things like that will boost up to something like 42. But you're right though. He won't play. He might not see that 42. They might restructure something again for the betterment of the team, and things like, because you're obviously common sense. You're not paying 42 mil.
Yeah, he just needs to go back and say, let me advertise myself in Cleveland. He's been there a decade. They know him.
Yeah, he's good now. He's a champion. He brought a championship there. He helped bring a championship there as the third best player. And he deserves, he's this Cleveland Cavalier team. We don't know if they have, and again, I like Donovan Mitchell, right? I think he's a special player. Is he a number one option on a championship team? This is how we have to start looking at these players, man. This is how we have to start looking at these players. And that's why I feel like if you watch the games, those answers will be there for you. And right now, to me, is he a number one? I'm going to say no. I'm going to say no. He's not a number one option.
So dramatic tonight. I'm loving it.
I'm just saying. Like,
he is, yo. No. He is.
I'm going to say no because
CJ, what you have drink before the show, man?
Nah, we don't do any of those type of things, brother.
Oh, it's that cup. It's that cup's what it is. It's your A game.
It's just the love of the game.
He started acting different when he got that
cup. Nah, man, it's just the love of the game. But now for Mitchell, again, I think we talked about this. Michael and I talked about this a couple of weeks ago when the trade first went down. I think Mobley should be the number one option down the road because of the versatility he brings with his size and measurables. And yeah, man. But again, I like the team. They're fun to watch. And Pistons versus Cavs. Bro, last year you're like, oh, no, I'm not watching that. Now you're like, yo, that's a good.
You better put that on ESPN primetime, baby.
Bro, I got the league pass. I don't need prime time every single night. League pass. Cavs Pistons. That's a great game, bro.
Yeah, that's.
Are you kidding me? You get exactly. That's the future in the now. You're just like, yo, these guys are like 20, 21. Wait till they're like 26, 27. What? Man, I can't wait for the season.
It's crazy.
And they're in the same division.
I can't
so
wait.
They're gonna see each other 4 times a year. Oh man, I'm excited.
Next year, this will be a Christmas game.
Wouldn't that be something, bro?
Yeah.
I think maybe in a couple of years.
I would. I'm not saying like not next year.
If Cade becomes a superstar, it could happen soon. I think if honestly, him and Ivy, they both have superstar traits. Ivy, yeah. They both have superstar traits. Cade and Ivy. So that's gonna be interesting to see who becomes it's like a Westbrook KD dynamic where you saw the superstar traits in both of them. Unfortunately, one became a bigger star when they left. But nevertheless, I think Cade and Ivy, they could be very special.
Absolutely.
I'm ready for the season.
100%. I'm not mad at that.
All the phrases in one. Nice.
Listen, man. Just real quick, bro. The East is tough this year. The East is going to be great. Oh man, it's going to be tough.
Okay, real quick. Bucks, Bulls, Cavs, Pacers, Pistons. What order?
I'm going to go Milwaukee 1. I'm going to go Cleveland 2.
Unanimous.
Yeah, Milwaukee 1, Cleveland 2. I'll say Chicago 3, Detroit 4, and then Indiana 5.
Okay, CJ, you next.
I think I agree. I agree with Nick. I think that's perfect. Now, if Detroit, they're obviously a wild card. We will see if Cade and Ivy and they're right out the gate, boom, stars. I could put them ahead of Chicago.
They are. That's where I'm going to put them. Pistons over Chicago.
Now, I will say this though, like if the Pistons go like 6-4 or 7-3 in the first 10 games, that's gonna be big.
It's gonna be big. Yeah, like I said, they're ready to go today. They're ready to go. So it's gonna be exciting to watch.
Okay, I got to see who the like first few games are.
Word.
Bear with me. Let's see
No,
your
you're
schedule.
good,
Okay, they start. I'm sorry. First game's a W.
Who are they playing? The Knicks?
The Knicks.
That's preseason game.
October 4th?
That's preseason.
Okay.
Yeah, that's preseason.
Yeah, our Knicks' first game is the Grizzlies in Memphis. Yeah.
When does let's see here.
It's probably like their first game is probably like the 19th or the 20th or something.
Yeah, they just got it all listed. Let's see we're 3 weeks away, so where does it start? November?
October, late October.
Yeah, like October, like 19th, 20th, 21st, something like that.
In the 20s, yeah.
Okay, we'll start with 19th. That's probably right because it goes from October the 13th and 19th. There's a big gap right there. So they play Magic,
Ooh,
Knicks.
that's a good game.
Ooh.
Yeah, Magic, Knicks, Pacers.
What is? Oh my! Are you serious?
It's a good game, man.
And then they play the Hawks twice.
They play the Magic. They play the Magic the first game.
It's a good game.
Magic, Knicks,
What?
Pacers, Wizards, Hawks twice. So I mean, honestly, that's kind of nice for them starting out.
It's a good test. Yes, it's a very good test to see where they're at. Obviously, them and the Magic, people assume that they're going to be the same. But, they could come out and be like, nah, we're not y'all. Splash by 20. I don't know.
Splash by 20.
Splash
Okay.
by 20, easy.
We ready for some trivia? Do we have trivia?
We don't got.
Trivia?
Yeah, we don't. I mean, it's kind of over.
Let's say, yeah. I'm about to say, yeah, we're getting kind of late.
We're getting kind of late, guys. We're gonna do the trivia next week.
Okay.
We're gonna get some trivia stuff in there. Get some really good questions. Kind of mix it up. I mean, we used a useful trivia app that was really good. We was working on some other sites, but I'm gonna try to find something. So again, we're learning the game. We learn some new things. Never know what could happen, bro. Say like you need a random question you got to answer in the NBA. You're like, oh yeah, we did that on CTB that one time. Cool little $100 in your pocket off there. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, let's next week. Let's all come up with one random player that we like know stats on that we give in like teams or whatever. And we got to try to guess who it is.
Okay, guess who? All right, let's write that down. I got you.
Cool.
Do we want to give like an era that we're going to kind of do it in?
Yeah, we could go real specific with it. I'm down. Yeah, let's do it. So guess who next week? Count the bucket. Guess who? What era are we thinking about?
Let's go 2000 to 2010.
Okay, 2000 to
Does that sound good?
2010. All right, bet 2000 to 2010.
2K, I guess.
Guess who? NBA player. All right.
All right, Nick, where can we find you at?
Oh man, follow me on Twitter at NickAndreATR. Check out my link tree in my bio as well. Follow us at Count Bucket USN. That's about it. Where you can find me.
Got linktree.com/cjames9. Everything that I'm working on. Count the Bucket, the Hard Count, Garda Podcast, all the other platforms that I'm working on, man. Appreciate everybody that's been supporting us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify. If you're on Apple Podcasts, leave 4 or 5 stars. Give us a nice comment if you're rocking with our content. All feedback is really good feedback. We're just trying to continue to grow, work on what we're doing. So, just continue to follow us here at 9:30 Eastern every Sunday, man. Let's get it.
Oh yeah. Just real quick. Coming soon to the Count the Bucket website. Guess who has 11 rings? But yeah, coming soon to the Count the Bucket website. It's a collaboration. It's gonna be titled The Book of Penny. It's a series on Penny Hardaway, so definitely look out for that.
Oh, is that your news that you said that you were going to have for us?
Yeah.
Okay, I totally forgot.
I almost forgot too.
Phew. Book of Pennies. I like that.
Yeah, it's a good name, bro.
Awesome.
I like that.
Okay, so be looking for that. Of course, still working on the website as far as some of the errors on there. But yes, we do have a website out. We'll get that a little bit more. I have a couple of days off this week that I'll be able to work on that some more. So, of course, as they all said, Count Bucket USN on Twitter. You can follow me personally at MDLawson00. In my bio, it has the link tree like CJ said, and it has all my information of all my social medias that we got going in there. Of course, the podcast, Apple Pod, all that whole 9 yards. I also have another show where I do nothing but baseball, just like this show, with my boy Connie, and it is called Backstop Banter, Thursday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. All right, boys, I believe that's got us.
Deuces.
We ready?
Catch you guys next week.
We appreciate you guys.
Thanks for watching.
Yes, sir.